in the white helmets. It's going to be a heck of a matchup here tonight from Max Goldsmith Stadium. This place is already starting to fill up quickly.
It's definitely going to be sold out on both sides. I'm going to make sure we the hit.
White helmets.
Sold out crowd on both sides. They're already lined up into the parking lot. It's a blackout for both of these schools, so majority of the fans dressed in black on either side.
That is going to be a heck of a sight to see once everybody is in the stands. We know that this rivalry has got a lot of emotion behind it. We know the history and some of the past matchups and how they've gone down the last couple of years. Lewisville atop of the district right now. Marcus has been struggling. They're looking to try and make a statement here in the back half of the regular season. It is the perfect mix for some beautiful high school football here tonight.
Well, it sounds like Grayson and I are coming in good. We're going to go ahead and drop off, and we will be back with the 37th Battle of the Axe in about 30 minutes.
Into the broadcast here, ladies and gentlemen, on Champion Sports Radio. I'm your play-by-play announcer this evening, Grayson Ouellette. Alongside me is my color commentator, Cody Barfnick. We've got the classic Lewisville duo back up here in the press box at Goldsmith once again, and it's good to be back at home for the first time here in this 2022 season, if I do say so myself, Cody, and I've got a heck of a game here to call with you tonight.
Well, I'm glad you're back, and glad to have you here trying to avenge a couple of disappointing nights against the Marcus Marauders from the last couple of years. As you mentioned, it is the 37th annual Battle of the Axe. Marcus leads the all-time series 21-15. Lewisville thinks they have a squad that can get it done for the 16th time tonight and bring the Axe back to 1098 West Main Street for the first time since 2018.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, here to the Viva La Pasta pregame show on Champion Sports Radio. We break down the 37th annual Battle of the Axe here for you on the pregame show as they continue to have some pregame festivities here at Max Goldsmith Stadium. Cody, I believe we have a sold-out crowd here tonight, and both crowds rocking a lot of black. It's blackout on both sides of the stadium here this evening.
That tradition started about 15 or so years ago, a blackout Friday on the campus of each teams that go up against them. But if you've seen these two
West as well, Lewisville barely came. Marcus is coming off a win over the past 2 weeks, and so Plano West there at that position.
Pocket for the Marauders, but last week he goes 14 of 20. I just talked about a second ago. Kitab, 4 catches for 112 yards.
Coming off a solid, and Xavier Lewis in that game as well as
3 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Was a great night against Plano last week for Eaton's with
offensive performance last week against Plano. 20-yard interception return for a touchdown.
That he and Coach Johnson and Gateman, he's been all that and more. So, and that pick 6 that he had against the outrunning a run 2 receivers to get to the end zone.
Between Cody Barfnick and head coach of the Lewisville Fighting Farmers, Mike Odell. You're listening to Lewisville Fighting Farmers football presented by Lewisville Lettering on Champion Sports Radio.
Lewisville Lettering has served the Lewisville community with low prices, quality goods, and quick delivery for over 25 years. At Lewisville Lettering, they can take care of all your textile, screen printing, and embroidery needs. The lettering is trusted by local schools. 701B South Old Orchard Lane, right off West Main Street in Lewisville. Lewisville Lettering, your hometown print shop.
Are you craving authentic Italian food in a warm, friendly atmosphere? Then you need to stop by Viva La Pasta, where they strive to serve delicious homemade pastas, mouth-watering pizzas, and so much more, straight from their family's table right to yours. Farmer fans have made Viva La Pasta one of the most popular restaurants in town. Stop by and see for yourself. They're conveniently located right across the street from Lewisville High School at 1093 West Main Street. Visit VivaLaPastaMenu.com or check out Viva La Pasta on Facebook and Instagram for news and deals. For me, it's Viva La Pasta.
Each year across the United States, young lives are lost to sudden cardiac arrest, and our communities are left to pick up the pieces. That's what happened in April of 2009 when Zachary Schraw lost his life to an undiagnosed heart condition after collapsing suddenly during a Plano East Senior High School football practice. After his death, Zach's loved ones knew it was time to take action to protect young hearts across North Texas from this silent killer. Since its establishment in 2009, Living for Zachary has impacted thousands of families by providing heart screenings for ages 12 to 22 donating AEDs to youth-based organizations, and training community members in the use of CPR, all with the goal of saving lives. Sudden cardiac arrest doesn't wait, so we can't either. Schedule your child's heart screening today, apply for an AED for your organization, or make a donation that could change a life forever. Together, we can give our children's hearts a second chance. Join the movement to save young hearts at livingforzachary.org today.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing.
To Champion Sports Radio, it's the Viva La Pasta pregame show. We're here at Max Goldsmith Stadium in Lewisville, Texas. It's Grayson Ouellette alongside Cody Barfnick here with you, breaking down the 36th annual Battle of the Axe here in front of us tonight. Man, Cody, Marcus leads the all-time series 21-15. The last couple of years, Lewisville has been right on the edge, even despite all of the offensive power that the Marauders have brought to the table. But just with the way that the Fighting Farmers have been playing this year, standing atop of the district right now, I think the whole entire team, coaching staff, fan base, they understand that if there's going to be a year where you finally take the Axe back, feels like it's going to be 2022.
And I think that's the way this team feels as well. You know, talking to Coach Odell, you'll hear that. You know, they thought it was their year last year, and you'll hear that in this interview with Coach Odell, how frustrated he was that they came out flat on the road at Marcus Marauder Stadium last season. They think it's their year again in 2022. They think they're the best team in District 6-6A, and tonight's the night where they can prove it.
Why don't we go ahead and hear from the man himself. Cody was able to sit down with the head coach of the Lewisville Fighting Farmers, Mike Odell, earlier this week to discuss not only tonight's 37th Battle of the Axe matchup against the Marcus Marauders, but also last week's 42-14 victory over Plano as well. So let's go ahead and tune in. Here he is, the head coach of the Lewisville Fighting Farmers, Mike Odell.
So, Coach, it was a nice win over Plano last week to take over first place in District 6-6A. What were some of your immediate takeaways from that game?
Again, another great effort, by our team. You know, they're playing hard. They're flying around, and that's the thing that jumps off the tape at the coaches is that while we're not executing, as high on a level as we'd like to, we're playing extremely hard, and that just gives us a chance to be really good, especially on defense and special teams.
You mentioned your defense. We talked about Mason Johnson the last 2 weeks, but it's hard not to when he has a performance like that. He gets a local media player of the week, nominated again for the morning news, but you had a few other contributors as well, some players that are newcomers to the varsity level, at least anyway. What do you attribute their success to week in and week out?
Again, coachable kids that are playing extremely hard. We grade their effort, and we've got kids grading, 95 and above, and some kids at 100% effort grades, which is just unheard of. Our defensive total effort grades around 94%. So again, we're just really excited about the kids flying around and just really causing havoc for offenses. But yeah, Mason Johnson has just been a dominant force. Rendell Carter plays right next to him. Again, another guy that plays extremely hard and tough to block. Garcia Johnson, a ton of speed in the middle that's just making play after play, and they're not only making big plays, but they're doing what they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to do it, and it's just a joy to watch.
Your Ethan Terrell at quarterback has maybe not necessarily the passing numbers this year that he had last year, but he's making a lot of plays with his feet. It seems like he's managing the game pretty well from the quarterback spot. Is that what your staff's seen from him too this year?
Yeah, absolutely. There's some plays that we've left out on the field that we know that we've got to hit. But at the end of the day, we're shortening the game. We're keeping our defense fresh. We're keeping those guys healthy. We're running the ball, and we're being efficient with our passing game. When we're effective, we're efficient with our passing game, and that's the key. Not big stats, but again, we are using his legs a little more, and them, and I think that you see them getting better every week in and week out. So they've got a strong and aggressive defensive line. They got two big old tackles that help pass pro and help run the ball. And I think they just got a good thing going. They're going to be a tremendous challenge for us, and we're excited to accept it and ready to get after them.
Well, Coach, I know it's been a long week of prep, but the show gets started tomorrow night. Good luck and bring that Axe back to 1098 tomorrow night.
Yes, no problem.
And there he is, the head coach of the Lewisville Fighting Farmers, Mike Odell, who Cody was able to interview earlier this week to discuss not only last week's victory over Plano Senior, but also, of course, tonight's Battle of the Axe, the 37th annual. Cody, man, Mike Odell, usually a pretty, I would say, stone cold kind of guy when it comes to his focus on the game. It's really hard to like you kind of mentioned in the interview, get that extra juice out of him. And it seems like there's something that really brings it out of Fighting Farmers. But another thing Mike Odell said is that they've got a different mentality this year, and I'm certainly excited to see how that mentality is brought onto the field.
Well, I've known Coach Odell for a long time, and I could see when I asked that question last night about this game, I saw the look in his eye, and he'd be good. Going to get their best.
Lewisville Fighting Farmers football presented by Lewisville.
Going to get their best.
Lewisville Fighting Farmers football presented by Lewisville Lettering on Champion Sports Radio.
Homeowners in the DFW, listen up. Have you ever considered owning your own power by going solar? Well, my name is Dylan Olson with Infinity Solar USA. We are a locally owned and operated company to the DFW. We've helped thousands of homeowners become their own power company by going solar. We take pride in providing an amazing solar experience. Thanks to Champion Sports Radio, we've created an exclusive discount just for you. To get a free solar savings report, go ahead and give us a call at 469-868-4164. Infinity Solar USA.
Living in North Texas provides all of us with an amazing quality of life, including an affordable cost of living, outstanding schools, unbelievable cultural opportunities, and the best sports around. But we also have to put up with severe storms. Hi folks, Champion Sports Radio President and Founder Thomas Lee here to tell you when a hail or windstorm comes through your neighborhood, do what we did and call Greenleaf Roofing. Greenleaf Roofing is a fully insured, locally owned and operated company built on the values of amazing craftsmanship, affordable options, and innovative solutions. And they are proud that those values still stand as a foundation for their business today. And did I mention Greenleaf Roofing has 24-hour emergency service available? It's nice to know Greenleaf Roofing will be there in a hurry if you need them. After the first experience, I became a customer for life and have used them on 3 different homes. But don't just take my word for it. Learn about the Greenleaf Roofing difference yourself by calling them at 972-379-9109 or go online to greenleaf-roofing.com to find out how you can get your free quote. Greenleaf Roofing, the #1 choice for all your roofing needs.
Do you feel your home is too humid and slightly musty? Do you have that room or side of the house you don't use because it's too hot or too cold? Do you have family members struggling with health issues or allergies? Then contact Energy Attic and transform your living spaces by transforming your attic. Energy Attic uses a 3-part energy reduction system to make your home or office as comfortable and energy efficient as possible, saving you money, reducing your carbon footprint, and improving
Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, here to our broadcast from Max Goldsmith Stadium of the 37th Annual Battle of the Axe on Champion Sports Radio. I'm your play-by-play announcer, Grayson Ouellette, alongside Cody Barfnick. We are just about 5 minutes away from kickoff here between the Fighting Farmers and the Marcus Marauders. Cody, we just tuned into the coach's interview in our last segment with Mike Odell. As you kind of mentioned, obviously a little bit more they've got the upper hand in terms of performance so far here in 2022, although Marcus has been getting better each and every week. But Cody, one thing that you and I talked about off the air that I do want to talk about as we get closer to kickoff is big Lewisville, some maroon. there is the
underthrew him just a little bit, and that's a big 3 and out to start this game for the Lewisville defense.
So now the special teams will come out. This is Michael Petro, the 5'11", 165-pound senior, ready to punt this one away to Jaden Hardy, who's back to return it for the Fighting Farmers. High snap, whistles,
didn't get
and will go
run there.
To situation now.
Can break out of the route.
Terrell calls a man off, and it looks like that's it downs.
There's a Marauder down.
In motion from the wide receiver spot down to running back, and then Ethan Terrell ended up giving from the Marcus 43. Got him up on his feet. I thought they were going to give him a quicker, a little bit more of a checkup there, but that's number 7, Mason Whitesell, got right up on his feet, the senior did, makes his way over to the sideline. So we will go ahead and just stay here on Champion Sports Radio. 9:50 and ticking left to go here in the first quarter. 1st and 10 for Lewisville inside of enemy territory.
Farmers trying to make the most of this first possession. They get a 3 and out on defense, and they are into Marcus territory already on their first possession.
2 receivers right, 1 left. Looked like there was an early jump by the Farmers, and it was. It's going to drag them back 5 yards. 1st and 15 now is going to be the situation here for the Farmers.
Quay Davis was up the field like it was against Marcus, and Ethan Terrell wanted a neutral zone infraction as well against the Marauders, but they don't get it, and that'll bring up a 1st and 15.
That moves them back to the Marcus 48-yard line now for this 1st and long. Terrell breaks the huddle. 2 receivers left, 1 right. The man alone to the right is Kentrell Sorrells on the far side of the field. Lewisville moving from right to left. 9:15 and ticking left to go here in the opening quarter. Terrell takes the snap. He's going to go ahead and go with the read option. Keeps it himself off the right side this time. Marcus reads it well, and Ethan Terrell barely gets a gain of 2 up to the 46 before he is driven backwards by multiple Marauder defenders. 2nd down and 13 coming up here for Lewisville.
And it looked like Terrell has some kind of an equipment issue. He may have lost his helmet a little bit on the play. He has to check out for 1 snap, and that'll bring in the sophomore Zephan Walker to take this 2nd and 15 snap.
So Walker, number 17, going to come in at quarterback for at least 1 play here. It's a 2nd and 13 at the Marcus 46-yard line for the Fighting Farmers. 8.5 minutes left to go here in the opening quarter now. Lewisville taking their time on their opening drive here. Walker's got trips receivers to the right, 1 man to the left. Drops back, looks right, slings this one over the middle. It is jumbled for, fought for on an interception and a catch. Ball will eventually go down to the turf, but man, that could be one way. Or Walker got to give it to him. The guts make for his 1 pass before. Now it's
the Walker intercepted as Ethan Terrell checks back into the game.
3 receivers set, 2 to the left, 1 to the right on 3rd and long for Lewisville. Terrell has pressure coming his way on the blitz. He's going to dump it off right to Byron Ellison on a screen pass. Lewis.
A lot of their first possession.
Fights his way up
to get Lewis in space.
Defensive coordinators. Listen to the teeth of the defense.
Ziggy Davis in a heavy.
Nick
Scotty Parker fought off 2 defenders. Reached across the plane of him on that drive. Reached across the plane of him on that drive. Farmers only.
Lewisville Fighting Farmers football presented by Lewis.
Oh, let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is a competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
There's nothing quite like coming together over a fresh cooked meal. Face to face, burger to burger, solving the world's problems over fries. There's also nothing like solving the problems right in front of you, like baseball practice, swim team, and getting your family's meals just like they like it, all with a few taps on your phone.
Their touchdown with Ethan Terrell out of the back of the end zone with Freddie Hoya. This is Welliver taking the snap, fires right on a screen pass.
Big time situation for Lewisville. They get that early.
Dylan Myro and Jaden Hardy back to receive, able to hold on to it, thankfully. So this will be a 1st down and 10 situation coming up now for Lewisville.
Start to the night so far for the Farmers, and it just seems like that offense for Marcus is just kind of stuck in neutral just a little bit. They haven't been able to do more.
On 1st down, 2 men to the right, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Ellison is the running back. Man in motion from left to right as flags flying near the Lewisville offensive line. It looks like that's going to be a hold.
That's going to be Quay Davis, the big left tackle that they're going to get for a hold on that linebacker, but they had him down on the edge on that play, and Quay Davis just got a little bit too much jersey.
So what would have been a 12-yard gain for Lewisville off a run by Terrell will now become a first down and 20 situation back at their own 30-yard line. 2:39 left to go here in the first quarter. And man, Max Goldsmith is absolutely packed here tonight, Coach. Sky is dark, but the Friday night lights are on here in Lewisville, Texas. First down and 20 for the Farmers. Terrell looks right on a screen pass, now looks back over the left, slings it away, and it's going to be complete at the 40-yard line, and fighting up to the 45 that time is Dylan Myro. What a great adjustment there on the pass by Terrell over the middle.
Myro ran a great route right in front of Whitesell again on the far side of the field. A perfect throw by Ethan Terrell.
Now the Farmers are going to go no huddle. They've got a second down and 5 after a 15-yard completion on first down from their own 45-yard line. Terrell looked like he was ready to take the snap. Now he stands up and looks at the sideline, yells at the line. Now he's ready to go. Ellison standing behind him in the gun. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Terrell, easy snap, slings this one out to Myro on a screen pass to the right. Catch is made at the 46. Myro fights his way up to about the 47. Make that a gain of a couple more. They're going to call it a 4-yard gain to be exact, actually, giving him progress all the way up to the 49. So this will be a 3rd and 1 here now for Lewisville.
Myro brought down hard on that play by Chance Sauter, the safety, one of the better players on this defense for Marcus, and he was all over Myro from the get-go. It looked like Myro may have a chance to get off of him and get a first down, but Sauter doesn't make a habit of giving up tackles.
3rd and 1 from their own 49-yard line. Similar formation to the last play. Terrell has Ellison standing behind him in the shotgun. Takes the snap, handoff straight up the middle to number 21, Byron Ellison. Looked like he got planted at the 50, but made an extra effort there right at the very end to get himself up inside of Marcus territory to the 49-yard line. He needed 1. He gets a gain of 2. That's a fresh set of downs for the Farmers.
They're going to give him forward progress, and Coach Atkinson is not happy about it on the far side of the field. He thought that they stood Ellison up at the line, but Byron, a little bit of an extra effort, as you said, gets him across the 50, and that's a first down for Lewisville.
Less than a minute left to go in the opening quarter now. Farmers with a 1st and 10 at the Marcus 49-yard line. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Terrell goes with a read option, gives it to Ellison this time up the middle. Ellison breaks a tackle at the 45. Looked like he had a big burst of speed in front of him before he met another Marcus defender at the 41, and he'll go down right there for a nice gain of 8. But man, Ellison is finding the holes tonight, and he is hitting them with some force, Cody.
He is running extremely hard tonight and making the most of each carry he has, and gets 8 right there.
2nd and 10 at the Marcus 41. Terrell goes right back to Ellison up the middle. He's going to meet a wall of Marcus defenders this time, just a gain of 1 up to the 40. 3rd down and short coming up once again here for Lewisville, this time inside of enemy territory.
Yeah, that looks like that may be the last play of this first quarter, and what a first quarter it was for Lewisville. They're going to have a 3rd down and short.
Yep, final 5 seconds of the quarter, and it doesn't look like they're going to set up for a play. So that will be the end of the first quarter here for the Fighting Farmers and the Marcus Marauders in the 37th Battle of the Axe. After 1 quarter of play, Lewisville leads Marcus by a score of 7-0. We're going to go ahead and take another short commercial break as both squads switch sides, and when we come back, we will have the top of the second. You are listening to Lewisville Fighting Farmers football presented by Lewisville Lettering on Champion Sports Radio. Having a little bit of some internet issues here at Max Goldsmith with the commercial break, so we'll go ahead and bring it right back in here to Champion Sports Radio for the beginning of the second quarter in the Battle of the Axe between the Lewisville Fighting Farmers and the Marcus Marauders. After 1 quarter of play, Lewisville leads Marcus by a score of 7-0. Grayson Ouellette alongside Cody Barfnick here with you. To begin the second quarter, Lewisville has a 3rd and 1 at the Marcus 41-yard line. Ethan Terrell in the shotgun is going to take the snap, hands it off the left side to Byron Ellison as running back. Ellison once again hitting the hole with force, able to pound his way up to the Marcus 37-yard line. That's a gain of around 4 or 5, and another first down for Lewisville, converting a 3rd down and 1 situation.
A nice job again by Ellison. Another big downhill run for him. Under 11, almost 11 and a half to go here in the second quarter. Lewisville using the clock to their advantage so far in this game.
2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Fresh set of downs here for Lewisville, now at the Marcus 37. Terrell takes the snap, looks left for a screen pass, busted play. He's going to go ahead and just try to keep it himself, trying to find somewhere to go with the football, and Marcus is going to eat him up in the backfield. It was a designed screen play off to the left, but Marcus read it out, and it could have possibly been a pick 6 had Terrell let go of the football. So he decided up the middle, ended up getting dropped for a loss of 2 back at Lewisville.
You talk about game management. That's a game management decision right there. Terrell knows it's going to be a loss on the play, but he could have thrown the pass regardless, and instead that would have been a big play going the other way for the Marauders.
Byron Ellison's going to go from beside Terrell in the shotgun out to a trips formation, spread right as Terrell takes the snap. Now looking right. Ball's going to get tipped as he lets it go. Looking for a man at about the 30-yard line. It was tipped by Marcus linebacker number 16, Broad Golwis, the sophomore. Nice job that time by the Marcus defense, and that is going to make it now a 3rd down and 12 situation for the Farmers at the Marauder 39-yard line.
Terrell was looking for Kentrell Sorrells again, and the ball, as you said, tipped by Golwis off the line, and that actually may have worked against Marcus because Mason Whitesell, I think, would have had a play on that ball as well if it didn't get tipped, but instead it brings up a 3rd down and 12 for Lewisville.
4 receiver set here for Lewisville on 3rd and long. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Ellison is the running back beside Terrell. Terrell takes the snap and is going to immediately take off with it right up the middle. Has to slide as I think it was a designed QB run at the 36-yard line. Only gets a gain of about 4 yards on that. One's going to make it a 4th and 9 situation, and Lewisville will bring out the punting unit with Freddie Hoya. 10-10 left to go here and counting in the second quarter.
I thought you might see Lewisville's offense stay on the field and go for it, even though it's a 4th and 9 situation. They're at the Marcus 35, and with the way their defense has played so far in this game, I thought they may take a shot, but instead they're going to try to pin him deep with Freddie Hoya.
Hoya, the 5'8", 190-pound senior. We know how good he is as a kicker, but can he pin Marcus back deep on the punt? Sends it away and tries to not give it too much power in order to give his special teams unit a chance at it, but instead ends up getting eaten up in the air, and it goes out of bounds at about the 22-yard line.
Hoya tried to be finesse on that play, and he's getting an earful from Coach Odell on the home sideline. And I think Odell wanted that ball a little bit further into the corner. Hoya didn't get enough on it, and the Marauders are going to start from their own 23-yard line. So about a 10-yard net punt on that one by Freddie Hoya.
Marcus only had 2 drives in the first quarter. Both of them were 3 and outs. Let's see what Cole Welliver and company can get going here on their first drive of the second quarter. 1st and 10 from their own 23. Welliver's in the shotgun. He's got 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. He's going to take the snap, play action. He's going to send this one over the middle, caught at the 30-yard line. Breaks a tackle at the 34, and going down at about the 37 that time is Carrick Grennan, the 5'10 junior. Nice pass and catch that time by the Marauders, and they get their first down of the game.
That ball was almost intercepted by Elijah Elaine at linebacker for Lewisville. He got to the ball just a half a second too late, or that might have been a pick 6 going the other way for the Fighting Farmers.
Trips receivers to the left, no one out to the right here on 1st and 10. Welliver in the shotgun, takes the low snap. Looking left, he's going to dump this one out into the flat, looking for Ben Perlmutter, and Perlmutter has the ball, hit him square in the hands, but isn't able to bring it in. I think he looked upfield just a second too early. That's going to be an incomplete pass. 2nd down and 10 coming up now.
And Mark Cooper had a play on that ball for Lewisville if Perlmutter was able to bring it in, and he did not. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Marauders. We haven't seen Marcus take a deep shot yet in this game. You got to wonder if that's going to come here on 2nd down.
And we know that that's what the Marauders like to do with their receivers Ashton Cozart and Isaac Katab, both with college offers at the receiver position. Haven't called either of their names too much here so far in this first half. 2nd and 10 from their own 38 is Marcus. Welliver takes the snap. This is play action. Sends this one out left, and it's going to go soaring over the head of Ashton Cozart and out of bounds That's going to make it a 3rd down and 10 situation coming up now. But Lewisville, they had Garcia Johnson right there in the area to make the play on it if Cozart were to try to go for the catch.
They're devoting more attention to Cozart, and they probably should. He's an Oregon commit. A great receiver on the outside that they've got. Louisville's got Tony Lewis and Cuba and Garcia Johnson shaded over to that side. That ball by Cole Welliver was way over the head of Cozart, though.
3rd down and 10 for Marcus now at their own 38-yard line. 9:08 left to go here in the first half. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right for Welliver. Welliver drops back. He's got Lewisville pressure coming his way, and he's just got to send this one out of bounds, incomplete. He had at least 3 Fighting Farmer defenders chasing him deep in the backfield, and that is going to be a 4th down and 10 coming up now for Marcus. They were able to get 1 first down on the drive, and then Lewisville immediately stood strong there, Cody.
Great play by Louisville's defense. Marcus gave up the right side to try to clear out their left side and get a receiver open down the field. Welliver had to throw the ball away, but Mason Johnson and Mark Cooper were all over him.
Jaden Hardy and Dylan Myro are back to receive the punt for Lewisville, standing at about the 20-yard line. Xavier Lewis once again nearly gets the block on the punt. And, man, this is a booming punt for Marcus's Michael Petro, the UTSA offeree, as this one bounces at about the 15-yard line. It was a total rainbow, though, and it immediately bounced, I feel like, another 5 to 10 feet in the air, Cody, before it landed at about the 7, which is where Marcus will pick it up. And Lewisville's going to have to drive 93 yards on their next offensive drive here.
Petro is such a weapon. He made 2 field goals in the game last year, 40 yards plus. He's done it several times this season, only missed 1 field goal, and he's a deadly punter too. He puts it down inside the 10, and Lewisville's going to have to maximize their effort here on this drive.
Terrell comes out in the shotgun here with Ellison standing beside him to the left on 1st and 10. He's got 2 receivers spread out to the left, 1 to the right. Terrell, very low snap, able to get it down, though. Hands it off the right side to Ellison. Ellison trying to get to the edge as he fights his way up past the 10 and then gets shoved out at about the 12. That's a gain of around 3 or 4.
You got a nice block on the outside by Kentrell Sorrells. He's finally run out of bounds by number 14, Colton Bedgood, the senior linebacker. Looked like Ellison was about an inch away from breaking a big run on that one, but a nice job by Bedgood to get over there and force him out of bounds.
2nd and 5 at their own 12 now. Similar formation to the last play. Terrell takes the snap, handoff off the left side this time to Ellison. Ellison's going to cut it right back up the middle as he shows off some more toughness, fighting his way up to the 15-yard line for a gain of around 2. And that's going to make it a 3rd down and 3 situation here now for Lewisville at their own 15-yard line. 8.5 minutes left to go in the first half.
This is a drive here where Lewisville's got a big opportunity now to take the majority of the rest of this quarter off the clock. If they can go down and get points, they do get the ball after halftime.
3rd and 2 for Lewisville from their own 15. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Terrell takes the snap. QB run up the middle. Hammers his way up to the 16-yard line, but he's going to get stumped right there. He needed 2. He only got 1. It's going to be a 4th down and 1 for Lewisville now at their own 16-yard line after a tough run up the middle by Terrell, and Freddie Hoya is going to have to come out and punt it away.
Great play there by number 21, Drew Trenum for the Marauders. He's a junior defensive back at the safety spot. He was all the way up near the line of scrimmage on that play and got a burst of speed through the line and hit Terrell before he could get to for the line to gain.
Freddie Hoya standing at about his own 3-yard line to punt this one away for Lewisville. He has plenty of room to send it away. This is a much higher punt this time for Lewisville. Tons of distance. Takes a bounce at the 40-yard line, goes straight up in the air, and that is where Xavier Lewis will down it for the Fighting Farmers. Marcus will take over from their own 39-yard line.
Feels like we're still just getting started here at Goldsmith Stadium, and we're only 7.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. These offenses have traded barbs, defenses rather, and I've been impressed so far with Lewisville's defense, but Marcus has gotten a little bit better in the trenches as this game's gone on, and they've limited the big runs for Lewisville.
Cole Welliver comes out with a 1st and 10 from his own 39-yard line. Tight end on the left side of the line. He's got 2 receivers out, left, 1 alone to the right. The man to the right is Ashton Cozart. Welliver He's going to hand it off to Perlmutter off the right side here. Perlmutter tried to go right up the middle, ended up bouncing off a wall of defenders, then tried to bounce it out right instead, looking for the outside edge, but got eaten up in the backfield for a loss of 2. And we've got a flag flying near the end of the play as well.
I think this is going to be a face mask against Lewisville. I didn't see any offensive linemen out there for the Marauders that could have gotten a holding call, but I think this is going to go on the tackle for Lewisville. So it is going to be holding against Marcus. They're going to get number 75, Jack Tanner, the big right tackle, for holding. It looked like it was going to be a face mask, and now they're marking off yards against Lewisville.
So possibly, yeah, and now Mike Odell's literally raising his hands going, hold on, what's happening? You just said holding, but you're moving the ball up.
Well, there's a miscommunication between the officials. The head official called holding against the Marauders. Are they going to change this call to a face mask?
So the officials communicated for a second. And now we've got the head official saying it is a face mask, in fact, on Lewisville. So your initial assumption was correct, Cody.
Yeah, he just made the wrong call. It looked like there was a miscommunication between him and the side judge on the far side of the field. He makes the wrong call. It is a face mask against the Farmers, and that gives the Marauders a first down inside Lewisville territory.
At the 46-yard line, to be exact, with 7:15 and counting left to go here in the first half. Welliver looking over at his sideline before he pops his mouthpiece in. Claps his hands a couple of times. He's got 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Claps it a final time. Now he takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to his running back, Perlmutter, right up the gut. Perlmutter tried to find a lane to fit into, but the Lewisville defense says no, sir, and drops him for a loss of about 3. Tried to fight for the positive yardage that he could get. And it's going to make it a 2nd down and 7 here now from Marcus.
Not a ton of yards on the year yet for Perlmutter, but he's a shifty back out of the backfield. He can make defenders miss.
2nd down and 7 from the Lewisville 42 now. Same formation as the last play. Welliver goes another handoff to Perlmutter. Perlmutter this time gets eaten up even quicker by the Lewisville defense, and that's going to be a no gain. Brought down that time by who else? Mason Johnson, number 44, the defensive tackle, came flying in there for the loss.
Johnson had him around the ankles, and Rendell Carter had him up high, and a nice combination there for Lewisville in a 4-2-5 defensive set to try to combat that passing game for the Marauders, and they've done an outstanding job so far tonight.
6:10 and counting left to go in the second quarter. Now it's a 3rd and 6 situation for the Marcus offense at the Lewisville 42. First time they've been inside of enemy territory so far in this one. Trips receivers to the left, 1 man to the right. Welliver drops back. Lewisville brings 4. Sends this one over the middle, and that one is going to be incomplete as it goes soaring past his intended target, Aiden Grummer that time. It is going to be a 4th down and 6, and Marcus once again going to have to punt it away as they're out of field goal range.
Another nice job by Lewisville. They get home with Mason Johnson and Carl Malvo, so Welliver had to rush the throw just a little bit, and Mark Cooper was all over Grummer on that play. Even if he'd have caught that ball, he'd have been 2 or 3 yards short of a first down.
It was solid coverage that time by Cooper for sure, the 5'11 junior. So this is Michael Petro standing back at about his own 46-yard line, and Marcus is going to go with the direct snap fake and a ton of open room to run now. Inside the 20, inside the 15, and finally tackled at the 14-yard line is number 14 for Marcus. That's Colton Bedgood, the senior linebacker, getting the direct snap on a punt formation run.
And you kind of thought something like that might be coming from Marcus. They had to make something happen before the half. It's 5:40 to go here in the second quarter, and that might be the spark that this offense needs to get into the end zone and put some points on the board.
So Cole Welliver and the Marcus offense will come jogging back out onto the field after the fake punt run conversion there by the Marauders special teams. They've got a 1st and 10 now at the 14-yard line inside the red zone. Trips receivers to the right, Ashton Cozarts to the left, and now it looks like we're going to get our first timeout of the game, and this is a Marcus timeout at the 5:22 mark here in the second quarter. So we'll go ahead and take a short break. You're listening to Lewisville Fighting Farmers Football presented by Lewisville Lettering on Champion Sports Radio.
Homeowners in the DFW, listen up. Have you ever considered owning your own power by going solar? Well, my name is Dylan Olson with Infinity Solar USA. We are a locally owned and operated company to the DFW. We've helped thousands of homeowners become their own power company by going solar. We take pride in providing an amazing solar experience. Thanks to Champion Sports Radio, we've created an exclusive discount just for you. To get a free solar savings report, go ahead and give us a call at 469-868-4164. Infinity Solar USA.
Hey, everybody, this is Chris Daly from LoneStarGridiron.com, the authority on Texas high school football. Quick question, did you play Texas high school football? If you did, it doesn't matter what school, it doesn't matter what year, we want to honor you at Lone Star Gridiron. Go over to LoneStarGridiron.com/brotherhood and sign up. It's absolutely free, and we can honor you for the part you played in the greatest sport in the greatest state.
Welcome back in here, ladies and gentlemen, to the 37th Annual Battle of the Axe. The Marcus Marauders, with 5:22 left to go here in the second quarter, have a first down and 10 inside the red zone at the Lewisville 14-yard line. Cole Welliver, the junior quarterback, is going to take the snap in the shotgun, and it's going to be a direct QB run right up the middle. This might be a busted play. Welliver doesn't look like he knows where he's supposed to go, and he's just going to get eaten up by the Lewisville defense at the 14-yard line for a gain of 2. 2nd and 8 coming up now for the Marauders.
That's a combo of Mason Johnson and Carl Malvo in on the stop there. Welliver just nothing doing going up the middle. They ended up giving him credit for about 1.5 yards.
2nd and 8 from the Lewisville 13 now. One receiver to each side of the field, one running back on each side of Welliver in the shotgun. Welliver takes the snap, fires. It's tipped up by Lewisville, nearly intercepted by Mark Cooper, the linebacker, as well, but he's not able to bring it in. And it's going to be a 3rd down and long coming up now for Marcus. I'm not sure who tipped it at the line. It was either Isaac Black or Mason Johnson.
It was Mason Johnson, number 44. It's the 2nd week in a row that he gets a pass deflected at the line. He didn't pick this one off himself, but it was almost right there for Mark Cooper. Just a little bit too much out of his reach, and it's a 3rd down and long for the Marcus Marauders.
Cooper had to dive for it and just couldn't bring it in. The ball was going all over the place.
For a 5'9" defensive tackle to deflect passes at will, it's just a special talent that Mason Johnson has.
3rd down and 9 from the Lewisville 13. Welliver goes play action, pressure in his face, fires it zone, and that one's going to be intercepted. Coming back the other way is Cam Jenkins. Jenkins in the open field, midfield, down the sideline, breaks a tackle at the 45 before he finally goes out of bounds, but there's a flag all the way back at the Lewisville 9-yard line, but a fantastic play by the corner, Cameron Jenkins.
I don't know who this flag's going to be against. Marcus thinks that it's going to be against Lewisville. It looked like a clean interception to me. Marauders. The Farmers are going to have a first down. I don't know what they called. Unless it's an unsportsmanlike conduct after the play against the Marauders, I don't know what the call's going to be.
So it looks like
Marcus's offense is leaving the field. This is going to be Lewisville football. It might be holding on the run back, but that doesn't make any sense because the defense can't get that call.
And they're moving the ball back to the 5-yard line, which is where Cameron Jenkins initially intercepted the football. And it looks like that's where they're going to start Lewisville.
Unless he slipped as he caught the ball and they're going to call his knee down, but I didn't think there was any way that he was down there.
I didn't think so either. Nonetheless, the interception is good for the 6'1" senior Cameron Jenkins. Lewisville gets the first turnover of the night for either team, and they're now set up with a 1st and 10 at their own 5-yard line. So 2nd drive in a row where the Fighting Farmers have to start inside their own 10. 4:24 left to go in the second quarter. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Terrell's taking the shotgun from the goal line, handing it off the right side to Ellison. Ellison, once again, just showing great burst and power tonight when he's getting these handoffs, as he just shows the speed and agility to get up to the 10-yard line quickly for a gain of 5 before he's dropped by a couple of Marcus defenders. 2nd down and 5 coming up now.
I'm impressed with the tackling of this Marcus defense, and Ellison is a tough physical runner, but he doesn't get missed very often, but the Marauders...
It's like he's going to slip on his own feet at about the 11. Only get a gain of 1 there on 2nd down. It'll make it a 3rd and 4 situation now for Marcus at their own 11-yard line.
Approaching 3.5 minutes to go here.
Marcus has only called 1 timeout so far here in the first half. Lewisville still has all 3. Terrell goes play action, slings this one over the middle, hits his receiver square in the hands and not able to bring it in. And that'll be a 3 and out for Lewisville to punt it away from 11.
Kirby ran right in front of his DB on the far side, out of the hands of Ethan Terrell, and the ball just gets dropped by Kirby.
Freddie Hoya standing a yard deep in his own end zone to send this one back to the Marauders. High in the air, it'll take a bounce at the 45-yard line, gets a lucky roll for the Lewisville special teams as it goes deeper into Marcus territory and picked up at the 42-yard line, and that is where the Marauders will begin their next offensive possession with 2:58 left to go here in the first half.
And it feels like this game so far, these two teams are feeling each other out on the offensive side of the ball. Both defenses playing extremely well, and this is one of those games where you just feel like there's going to be a big play or a big moment that's going to shift the tide to one side or the other. It looked like it was going to be that interception by Cameron Jenkins, but he didn't get the big return call.
Yeah, he intercepted it at the 5, took it all the way down inside of enemy territory to the 45, so it was a 50-plus yard return for Lewisville that got taken back by a penalty, and they had to go 3 and out, so Marcus was able to hold up despite throwing the first interception of the evening. 1st and 10 for him now at their own 42. Trips receivers to the right for Welliver. He's going to sling it out on a screen pass to his receiver. Caught at the 41 and then going down immediately. Great tackle that time by Lewisville's number 4. That's Garcia Johnson, sniffing that play out from the beginning. It's going to be a 2nd down and 11 coming up now for Marcus. Catch was made that time by Isaac Kitab.
And a great play by Garcia Johnson. He was back at the safety position. Kitab caught that ball in the backfield, and Johnson streaked all the way into the backfield to make an open field tackle for a loss. A nice play there by the safety.
Welliver breaks the huddle. He's going to have a 3-receiver set here on 2nd and long. 2 guys to the left, 1 to the right. Tight end on the right side of the line as well. He calls a man in motion from left to right. Takes the snap. It's play action. He's going to fire left immediately. Hits his receivers in the hands on the near sideline, but he's not able to bring it in. That's Ashton Cozart, the Oregon commit, the intended receiver that time. It was a great pass from Welliver. Cozart just not able to hang on. 3rd down and long coming up now for the Marauders.
It was a nice route by Cozart to get himself open. Tony Lewis and Kuba was right there to run him out of bounds. If he made that catch, he still would have been short of the 1st down, but just an uncharacteristic drop there by the Oregon commit.
Clock stops at 2:08 after the incomplete pass. Marcus has a 3rd down and 11 here now from their own 41-yard line. Trips receivers to the left and tight end on the right side of the line. And it looks like Marcus, offensive coordinator, doesn't like what he sees, Tim Morrison, so the Marauders will go ahead and call their 2nd timeout here of the first half at the 2:08 mark. We'll keep it right here on Champion Sports Radio and give a shout out to a couple of our sponsors, like our title sponsor, Lewisville Lettering. Lewisville Lettering has served the Lewisville community with low prices, quality goods, and quick delivery for over 25 years. At Lewisville Lettering, they can take care of all your textile screen printing and embroidery needs. Uniforms, corporate wear, t-shirts, hats, jackets, sweats, schoolwear, they do it all. Whether you need hundreds of printed shirts or a single embroidered name, they'll give you the same quality work and attention. Lewisville Lettering, your hometown print shop. Also want to give a big thank you to Dylan Olson and Infinity Solar USA. Homeowners, have you ever considered owning your own power by going solar? Then contact Infinity Solar USA, a locally owned and operated company who has helped thousands of homeowners become their own power company by going solar. Call 469-868-4164. That's 469-868-4164 and get your exclusive discount and a free solar savings report. That's Infinity Solar USA.
Coming out of this timeout, I do want to give major props to 2 members of this Lewisville secondary, Garcia Johnson and Brian Perez, as well as Tony Lewis and Kuba. Remember, Caden Jenkins has not been in this ball game.
Now, something we did not mention during the pregame, but Caden Jenkins, because of some unsportsmanlike conduct penalties last week, out in the first half of this game tonight. Everybody else in the secondary, though, like you said, Cody, certainly picking up the slack so far. 3rd down and 11 from their own 41 coming out of the timeout. Trips receivers to the left. Welliver drops back. He's got time. Sending an absolute bomb downfield. This one soaring through the air, and it's going to go sailing over the head of his intended receiver and into the end zone. Incomplete. Isaac Kitab was the one that Welliver was targeting downfield. It was a beautiful rainbow of a pass, just a little bit too much mustard on it that time from Welliver. 4th down and 11, and that is another 3 and out for Marcus, Cody, at the 2-minute mark here in the first half.
And if that ball would have been contested, or if it would have been closer to Kitab, it would have been a contested pass because Brian Perez and Cam Jenkins were all over him.
Michael Petro sends this one away. This is an absolute booming punt. That thing soared so high into the air for the UTSA offeree. It's returned this time by Dylan Myro from the 5-yard line, though. Myro gets up past the 10, and he's going to get dropped immediately at the 15 here near the close sideline on the Lewisville side of Max Goldsmith. With 1:51 left to go in the second quarter, the Fighting Farmers will begin their next offensive drive from their own 15-yard line.
Still a 7-0 lead for the Fighting Farmers, and I wonder what Nick Ola and Ross Haston will dial up here with not much time left before the break. Remember, Lewisville gets the ball after halftime. I wonder if they'll try to take a shot here before the break and try to put some points on the board.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left here on 1st and 10 for Lewisville at their own 15. Terrell hands it off the left side to Byron Ellison on 1st down, and Ellison is going to get eaten up in the backfield that time by the Marcus defense, something that we haven't seen too often here in the first half. Great job by the Marauders defensive front that time to drive Ellison back for a loss of 2. That's going to make it a 2nd and long now.
That was Will Upshaw, the defensive end, transferred in from Argyle last year, and he has an offer from the University of Michigan, only a junior, so probably more to come for him. He was in the backfield before that play could even develop, and it puts Lewisville behind the chains and not much urgency for the Farmer offense. They may be content to try to go to the break here.
2nd and 12 from their own 13. Similar formation to the last play as Terrell takes the snap. Another handoff off the left side to Ellison. Ellison able to burst through the initial line of contact, though, this time around. Fights his way up to the 20. Hold on, the ball came out. Marcus coming back the other way. Marcus is in the end zone, and they're signaling touchdown for Colton Bedgood, the senior linebacker, who out of nowhere came up with the football, stole it right away from Byron Ellison, and took it all the way back for a defensive touchdown. Holy cow, just like that, Marcus now prepared to tie this game up with less than a minute to go here in the first half.
And that's the moment that we were talking about. That's a disaster that can't happen right before halftime for Lewisville. Marcus takes the ball away from Byron Ellison before he gets on the ground and runs it in for a touchdown, and just a terrible break there for the Farmers.
Michael Petro out there for the PAT. It's down, and it is good. Score is now tied up at 7-all here with 57 seconds left to go in the second quarter. We will go ahead and take a short commercial break, and we will be back with the ensuing kickoff. You're listening to Lewisville Fighting Farmers Football, presented by Lewisville Lettering on Champion Sports Radio.
Are you craving authentic Italian food in a warm, friendly atmosphere? Then you need to stop by Viva La Pasta, where they strive to serve delicious homemade pastas, mouth-watering pizzas, and so much more, straight from their family's table right to yours. Farmer fans have made Viva La Pasta one of the most popular restaurants in town. Stop by and see for yourself. They're conveniently located right across the street from Lewisville High School at 1093 West Main Street. Visit VivaLaPastaMenu.com or check out Viva La Pasta on Facebook and Instagram for news and deals. For me, it's Viva La Pasta.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Follow us on Twitter at Champion Sports, like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, or look for us on Instagram at Champion Sports Radio. Tell us why your team will win this week. Share when your favorite athlete is named Player of the Week, or brag about what your school alumni are up to now. That's on Twitter at Champion Sports, facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and on Instagram at Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship social media.
Welcome back in here to Max Goldsmith Stadium. It's the 37th annual Battle of the Axe on Champion Sports Radio. After a fumble recovery for a touchdown for the Marcus Marauders to tie the game up at 7-0, they send the ensuing kickoff back to Lewisville, and this one will go out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So the Fighting Farmers, still with all 3 timeouts, Cody, here in the first half, have 57 seconds left on the clock here in the second quarter, now in a tied ball game situation at 7-7. Still wondering if maybe they possibly try to take a shot downfield here and get some points before the end of the half.
Well, with 3 timeouts, it seems like it would be a pretty good idea, especially this close to the break, and that's not going to be the easiest thing to do. They're going into a pretty stiff breeze, and Freddie Hoya would have to get this one pretty close if they're going to put points on the board before the break.
Terrell takes the snap in the shotgun. He's going to hand it off to his running back here on 1st down and 10, right up the middle. It's Phillip Patterson, actually, the wide receiver, now in at running back for the Farmers. Finds a nice hole, able to get out into the second level of the defense before he's tackled at the 35-yard line, right in between the hash marks. That's a gain of 10 and a fresh set of downs right off the bat for the Fighting Farmers, and they're going no huddle. Terrell goes play action on 1st and 10 now. Looking right, fires downfield, and this one's going to be caught as his receiver, Dylan Myro, had to come back for it. Dove down to the grass to make the catch, but he does, in fact, bring it in at the Marcus 44-yard line, and now Mike Odell will go ahead and call his first time out here of the first half, and there's that pass downfield that we were talking about, Cody.
That was a great sell that time by Ethan Terrell. He looked the safety off the ball. Chance Sauter completely fell for the pump fake by Terrell. Myro was all by himself, but we talked about the breeze a little bit ago. I think that the wind caught hold of that ball, or it may have had a little bit more air underneath it.
Want to go ahead and give a shout out to a couple more of our sponsors during this Lewisville timeout. Big thank you to Ryan Amerson and Energy Attic for their contribution to tonight's broadcast. Contact Energy Attic and transform your living spaces by transforming your attic. Energy Attic helps improve your home climate control, reducing those cold and hot pockets, making it more comfortable throughout, and saving you up to 40% on your energy bill. Schedule your free Energy Attic audit online at energyattic.com. Energy Attic, attic solutions to transform your life. Both teams coming out onto the field here now after the Lewisville timeout. Farmers have a 1st down and 10 situation inside of Marcus territory at the 44-yard line. 33 seconds left on the clock here in the second quarter. They still have 2 timeouts in their pocket as well. 3 receivers set as Terrell drops back on 1st down. Steps up in the pocket. Flag flies. Looks like it's going to be a holding on the Fighting Farmers as Terrell takes off with it. Gets up to about the 40-yard line for a gain of 4. Doesn't really matter, though, as there it is. There's the holding call. I believe it was the right guard, Ziggy Davis, that time, if I'm not mistaken, Cody.
Yeah, he grabbed the jersey of Jace Bardwell, the big defensive lineman, on the way by, and that's going to make a 1st and 10 into a 1st and 20. The Farmers still have a chance here to get in Marcus territory deep enough for possibly a field goal, but Terrell wanted Myro deep on that play, but that flag flew pretty early.
Clock is running. 20 seconds left to go here in the first half. Terrell takes the snap at the 15-second mark, and now we're going to get another timeout by Lewisville right before the ball gets snapped. And now they only have 13 seconds left to go on the clock.
Timeout call was a little bit late right there. They lost about 10 seconds off the clock. Still 13 seconds here. We saw this situation here against Plano West with Lewisville trying to get into field goal range right before the clock runs out, and it looks like Terrell may have one chance to get it deep enough for Freddie Hoya, but kicking into the wind like he is, he's going to have to get it pretty far down there.
I want to give another thank you to one of our sponsors during this Lewisville timeout. Big thank you to Nick Bass and Greenleaf Roofing for their support of tonight's broadcast. Greenleaf Roofing is DFW's preferred roofing company and the official roofing company of Champion Sports Radio. Family owned and operated, Greenleaf Roofing is the #1 choice for all your roofing needs. Residential, multifamily, commercial, storm restoration, they do it all, and they have a ton of lifelong customers. Find out why and get a free quote by visiting greenleaf-roofing.com today. 1st down and 10 coming out at the timeout now for Lewisville at their own 46-yard line. Terrell's going to hand it off to Xavier Lewis, and Lewis is going to get eaten up immediately in the backfield that time at his own 44. That'll be a loss of 2. It's going to be a 2nd down and 22, and that is how the first half will come to an end. Game is tied at 7-all here in the 37th annual Battle of the Axe after 2 quarters of play. Lewisville got their score early in the first. Marcus was able to strike and tie it up late here in the second. We're going to go ahead and take a short commercial break, and when we come back on the air, we will have the Enzo's Pizza halftime show here for you. You're listening to Lewisville Fighting Farmers football presented by Lewisville Lettering on Champion Sports Radio.
This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts. Lewisville Lettering has served the Lewisville community with low prices, quality goods, and quick delivery for over 25 years. At Lewisville Lettering, they can take care of all your textile, screen printing, and embroidery needs. Uniforms, corporate wear, t-shirts, hats, jackets, sweats, schoolwear. They do it all. Locally owned and operated since 1991, Lewisville Lettering is trusted by local schools, including all the Fighting Farmers merchandise sold by the Booster Club, as well as churches and police and fire departments. Lewisville Lettering works with businesses both large and small, but the individual customer is just as important to them as the large corporation. Whether you need hundreds of printed shirts or a single embroidered name, they'll give you the same quality work and attention. From custom artwork to digitizing, all of their work is done in-house in Lewisville. So give them a call today at 972-221-7286 or come by and take a tour of their facility at 701B South Old Orchard Lane, right off West Main Street in Lewisville. Lewisville Lettering, your hometown print shop.
There's nothing quite like coming together over a fresh cooked meal. Face to face, burger to burger, solving the world's problems over fries. There's also nothing like solving the problems right in front of you, like baseball practice, swim team, and getting your family's meals just like they like it, all with a few taps on your phone. Yeah, good thing there's more than one way to solve the world's problems. Good thing there's Whataburger.
Are you craving authentic Italian food in a warm, friendly atmosphere? Then you need to stop by Viva La Pasta, where they strive to serve delicious homemade pastas, mouth-watering pizzas, and so much more, straight from their family's table right to yours. Farmer fans have made Viva La Pasta one of the most popular restaurants in town. Stop by and see for yourself. They're conveniently located right across the street from Lewisville High School at 1093 West Main Street. Visit VivaLaPastaMenu.com or check out Viva La Pasta on Facebook and Instagram for news and deals. For me, it's Viva La Pasta.
Homeowners in the DFW, listen up. Have you ever considered owning your own power by going solar? Well, my name is Dylan Olson with Infinity Solar USA. We are a locally owned and operated company to the DFW. We've helped thousands of homeowners become their own power company by going solar. We take pride in providing an amazing solar experience. Thanks to Champion Sports Radio, we've created an exclusive discount just for you. To get a free solar savings report, go ahead and give us a call at 469-868-4164. Infinity Solar USA.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Hey, everybody, this is Chris Daly from LoneStarGridiron.com, the authority on Texas high school football. Quick question, did you play Texas high school football? If you did, it doesn't matter what school, it doesn't matter what year, we want to honor you at Lone Star Gridiron. Go over to LoneStarGridiron.com/brotherhood and sign up. It's absolutely free, and we can honor you for the part you played in the greatest sport in the greatest state.
Welcome back in here, ladies and gentlemen, to Champion Sports Radio. It's the Enzo's Pizza halftime show here on CSR. I'm your play-by-play announcer this evening, Grayson Ouellette. I'm alongside my color commentator, Cody Barfnick. We're here. It's Friday Night Lights in Max Goldsmith Stadium in Lewisville, Texas, for the 37th annual Battle of the Axe. And after 2 quarters of play, the Lewisville Fighting Farmers are currently tied with the Marcus Marauders with a score of 7-all. And Cody, I think this is one of those games where you kind of mentioned it there during the first half. It seemed like both of these teams were sort of trying to feel each other out offensively, which provided the defense a lot of opportunities to make big plays. Lewisville with the only turnover, big interception, or seemed like they had the upper hand after they got the first turnover of the game with a big interception by Cam Jenkins inside the red zone off of the junior quarterback for Marcus Cole-Welliver. But then Marcus came right back near the end of the first half, less than 2 minutes left to go, and their defense is able to recover a fumble deep inside of Lewisville territory. They only had to return it about 15 yards for a fumble recovery touchdown to tie the game up at 7-all.
Well, and we talked a little bit about this earlier. You just felt like there was kind of a lull in this first half that there was going to be a big moment to happen at some point that was going to swing some momentum. That happened for the Marcus Marauders with that fumble return for a touchdown when Byron Ellison fumbled into the hands of Chance Sauter. And, that it's just – it seems like that's that moment for Lewisville that something weird or bad always happens to them in the first or the second half, and that's been that way so far tonight. It's still a tie ball game. Lewisville gets the ball after halftime, but in that situation, you just hopefully you can hold on to the football and it'd take the lead into the locker room, but unfortunately it's tied, and Marcus has some momentum.
Yeah, and unfortunate for Lewisville as well, the fumble came right out of the arms of Byron Ellison, the 6-foot junior running back who, up to that point in the game, had honestly had a fantastic first half. Seemed like he was finding all the openings he needed to, getting big chunks of yardage, helping kill a lot of clock on these offensive drives for Lewisville. So I think that was probably a bit of part of the disappointment as well, that your main weapon in the first half was the one who had to suffer the fumble.
Well, it's reminiscent of a couple of years ago when Lewisville was on a drive to go ahead late in that game, and they had a late fumble by Damian Martinez. I mean, and a back that never fumbles. Byron Ellison never fumbles either, and it's uncharacteristic for him. And Ashton Cozart for the Marcus Marauders had a drop in a situation that could have gotten them a first down late in the first half as well. So the playmakers on both sides, not having a rough night, just having some mistakes that you don't normally see from them. And I think Byron Ellison will bounce back pretty big in the second half with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder after that play.
Yeah, not too many doses of Xavier Lewis there in the first half as well. He got a handful of carries and got involved with a couple of design plays that were meant to go to him, but it'll be interesting to see if maybe we see a little bit more of a switch out, a little bit more of that tandem between Ellison and Lewis, and not so heavy on just number 21.
And I think late in the first half, you mentioned this during the break before we came back on, the Marauders have started to do a lot more what they thought they would before this game kicked off, stacking 7 or 8 in the box, knowing that Lewisville is going to try to stay on the ground, and it's worked. The Farmers had a big-time running game going in the first quarter, slowed down considerably in the second quarter, and you just think coming out of halftime that Ethan Terrell is going to have to beat the Marauders through the air with his arm.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and talk about Ethan Terrell there in the first half. I mean, the 6'2 junior, once again, kind of playing that game manager role that we've seen out of him for a majority of the season. Didn't really ask too much of him. I don't even think Lewisville really threw the ball downfield over 20 yards a single time in the first half, aside from that final drive when they took that deep shot there to Dylan Myro. You have mentioned there is a bit of a breeze here tonight. If you're driving from left to right towards the scoreboard here at Max Goldsmith Stadium, you do have a little bit of wind to deal with, so that's certainly been a factor as well. But you're right, Marcus started to kind of figure out that rushing game attack by the Fighting Farmers as the game continued to go on there in the first half. They began to stack the box with more and more defenders, it seemed, until they were finally able to get consistent stops on Ellison. And that's something that you and I talked about in pregame. This is going to come down to whether or not I think Ethan Terrell can make some big throws in the second half.
And he made a couple of nice throws to Dylan Myro in the first half, especially that one that what looked like was going to get Lewisville down inside the 40 and have a chance to get some points on the board before the break, but a holding penalty took care of that. And it's been a clean game penalty-wise for each team on both sides of the ball, really, and they haven't shot themselves in the foot with the exception of that Ellison fumble. So we'll see how Lewisville starts this second half. I think they're going to have to take a deep shot at some point, especially with the wind in their back here in the third quarter.
Well, one thing that the Fighting Farmers certainly haven't struggled with in the first two quarters is making plays on the defensive side of the ball. It seems like at all levels, defensive line, the linebacker core, and the secondary, there's been plays made at every level, I feel like, there in the first half of the Fighting Farmers D.
Yeah, and the Farmers have been winning the battle up front on defense, but where I've been impressed with Lewisville tonight is that group in the secondary. They got beat with some big plays last season and the year before that, but they've been on lockdown tonight against two Power 5 wide receivers in Isaac Kitab and Ashton Cozart. Neither one of those guys has had anything going so far in this game, and I think that Marauder coaching staff, that's the conversation they're having in their locker room at halftime. If we're going to succeed in the second half and find the end zone against this Farmer secondary, we're going to have to find a way to get those two guys the ball.
And it seems like for Lewisville defensive coordinator Stu Johnson, one of his main goals is to make Cole Welliver uncomfortable in any way that he possibly can. They've actually are running a four-man defense, a 4-3 front tonight, Cody, when Lewisville for a majority of the season so far has been running a 3-4 to try and get some extra pressure after Cole Welliver. They've gotten Mason Johnson in his face batting passes down. The secondary has been aggressive when going after the football when Welliver has been passing in. That's kind of where Cam Jenkins was able to come up with the interception. I mean, he jumped that route really aggressively to get in front of that pass and make that play. And if he hadn't done that, I think he would have been a second too late, and the pass possibly could have been caught for a touchdown. You know, it's just knowing where you need to be at the time you need to be there. Everybody's doing their job. Nobody's trying to be a hero. And I feel like that's the reason why you're seeing plays made at every level. And on top of it, you talk about the secondary specifically. They did everything they did in the first half, shutting down those two top receivers for Marcus without Caden Jenkins on the field, who's now going to be out there for the third and fourth quarter, at least in some capacity.
And you wonder what the alignment's going to go to on the defensive side of the ball. Do they come out in a true 4-3? They ran a 4-2-5 nickel package for the majority of that first half, probably to put an extra body back in the secondary with Jenkins out. But do they keep that alignment that's worked really well for them, or do they move another linebacker up and let Caden Jenkins take over on the outside? It'd be an interesting decision for Coach Odell. It's hard to change an alignment when it's worked so well for two quarters.
Let's flip over to the other side of things and talk about Cole Welliver in the Marcus offense real quick. We've already talked about how they've struggled to get the ball into the hands of their playmaker wide receivers, Isaac Kitab and Ashton Cozart, but I don't think it's doing Welliver any favors either. The fact that they've tried to get the run game going a little bit with Ben Perlmutter, and it just hasn't worked so far for him either. So the Lewisville defense running that 4-2-5, they're kind of putting Cole Welliver into a situation where he's not just forced to pass, but he's forced to pass and have to make accurate decisions as well with the football.
Right, and great quarterbacks can pick you apart regardless of how many DBs are back there, but the difference in the game so far, you hit the nail on the head, was they're making Welliver uncomfortable in the pocket. They haven't really put a big hit on him yet in this game, but Mason Johnson, Rendell Carter, and Carl Malvo specifically are getting home consistently, and it's taking too long for the routes to develop for the Marauder receivers, and that's why Welliver's been off balance so far in this game.
And I got to say that when he has been passing the football, it hasn't really even been the defensive secondary that's made a lot of those plays. They've made some themselves, but I feel like the linebacking core has done a great job in the pass defense. Guys like Mark Cooper and Garcia Johnson, they have really been doing a good job of batting passes down there in those first two quarters.
And number 41, Elijah Elaine, we haven't seen a lot of him yet this season, but he got the start tonight at linebacker, and he's made the most of it. He almost had an interception on Welliver earlier in the game. He's been a run stopper as well, even though Marauders haven't run the ball to the degree that they like to so far tonight. But I think you're going to see more of that in the second half. I think Stu Johnson is going to dial up some blitz packages to continue to make Welliver uncomfortable. And, the secondary can only get better with the addition of the Baylor commit Jenkins back there. If you get enough of those guys back in the secondary to make the receivers uncomfortable, you can get home on the quarterback. It's a pretty lethal combination, but if that's going to work for Lewisville, they're going to have to get something going on the offensive side of the ball.
And Lewisville, on their first drive of the game, on those first couple of the drives of the game, they actually did look really good. They were moving the ball downfield. They were doing a great job of getting chunks of yardage in the run game, going to the pass when they needed to, and that's what led to that easy score for them, honestly, there in the first half. Seemed like they drove down the field with ease to get those first 7 points on the board, Cody. But something that we haven't talked about was a majority of the second half, almost every single drive, Lewisville was pinned back deep in their own territory. They had to start at their own 9. They had to start at their own 7. They had to start at their own 10, and then they had to start at their own 15 on 3 consecutive drives. And just having that much field in front of you is never easy to overcome, especially when you're having to throw into the wind.
Yeah, and I think this possession in this third quarter for Lewisville is going to be extremely important, because during this Marauder band performance, you see those flags out there. They are starched out coming from that north end zone, or from that south end zone. Lewisville is going to come out and get the ball with the wind at their back on this possession. And so I think they're going to have to make something happen with it and put something on the board in the third quarter, because if they have to go back into the wind in the fourth quarter and it remains tied or they fall behind, that's going to be a tough thing to come back from.
What types of adjustments do you think that the Lewisville coaching staff is trying to hammer home into their players right now in the locker room?
I think they have to get better on third down on offense. I think that was the difference in those last couple of possessions that they had to punt with. They got into 3rd and 5 or less, and they couldn't convert it on third down. I think they're going to have to do a little bit better job at winning up front on the offensive side of the ball. The offensive line's a great unit, but Marcus is putting 7 or 8 in the box to sell out to stop Byron Ellison, and so they're going to have to come up with something a little bit off kilter that they're not used to doing, and try to get their athletes in space in the second half. And this obviously goes without saying. They got to take care of the football as well.
You've been listening to the Enzo's Pizza halftime show here on Champion Sports Radio. The Marcus Band just made their way off the field. The Lewisville Band, the band that marches with pride, now preparing for their halftime performance. So Cody and I will go ahead, wrap up our first half recap here on the Enzo's Pizza halftime show. We'll take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we will tune in to the live halftime performance of the band that marches with pride out of Lewisville, Texas. You're listening to Lewisville Fighting Farmers Football, presented by Lewisville Lettering on Champion Sports Radio.
Homeowners in the DFW, listen up. Have you ever considered owning your own power by going solar? Well, my name is Dylan Olson with Infinity Solar USA. We are a locally owned and operated company to the DFW. We've helped thousands of homeowners become their own power company by going solar. We take pride in providing an amazing solar experience. Thanks to Champion Sports Radio, we've created an exclusive discount just for you. To get a free solar savings report, go ahead and give us a call at 469-868-4164. Infinity Solar USA.
Living in North Texas provides all of us with an amazing quality of life, including an affordable cost of living, outstanding schools, unbelievable cultural opportunities, and the best sports around. But we also have to put up with severe storms. Hi folks, Champion Sports Radio President and Founder Thomas Lee here to tell you, when a hail or windstorm come through your neighborhood, do what we did and call Greenleaf Roofing. Greenleaf Roofing is a fully insured, locally owned and operated company built on the values of amazing craftsmanship, affordable options, and innovative solutions. And they are proud that those values still stand as a foundation for their business today. And did I mention Greenleaf Roofing has 24-hour emergency service available? It's nice to know Greenleaf Roofing will be there in a hurry if you need them. After the first experience, I became a customer for life and have used them on 3 different homes. But don't just take my word for it. Learn about the Greenleaf Roofing difference yourself by calling them at 972-379-9109 or go online to greenleaf-roofing.com to find out how you can get your free quote. Greenleaf Roofing, the #1 choice for all your roofing needs.
Do you feel your home is too humid and slightly musty? Do you have that room or side of the house you don't use because it's too hot or too cold? Do you have family members struggling with health issues or allergies? Then contact Energy Attic and transform your living spaces by transforming your attic. Energy Attic uses a 3-part energy reduction system to make your home or office as comfortable and energy efficient as possible, saving you money, reducing your carbon footprint, and improving indoor air quality. Who doesn't want to save money, breathe cleaner air, and sleep better? Energy Attic helps improve your home climate control, reduces those cold and hot pockets, makes it more comfortable throughout, and saves you up to 40% on your energy bill. It's fast and easy to schedule your free Energy Attic audit. Simply visit energyattic.com and fill out the form. Virtual appointments are available as well. Now is the time to get your project started. So let Energy Attic show you how much you can love the comfort of your home. energyattic.com. Attic solutions to transform your life.
Look at that. 5 glorious inches of Whataburger. Fresh 100% beef stacked high with melted cheese and fresh cut veggies. But what if it's too much fresh beef? Stacked too high with too much melted cheese and too many fresh cut veggies? Well, we have a 4-inch burger like a lot of other places. We just call it a junior. Good thing there's a burger made just for you. Good thing there's Whataburger.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
High school band, the band that marches with pride.
And now here's the band that marches with pride out of Lewisville, Texas on the Enzo's Pizza halftime show on Champion Sports Radio.
Is that where you park?
I know, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the Lewisville High School Band. Now, on your feet, Fight Farmer fans for the traditional LHS spell out and fight song.
And there they are, the band that marches with pride out of Lewisville, Texas, finishing up their halftime performance. We are just a couple of minutes away from getting started in the third quarter here in the Battle of the Axe in 2022 from Lewisville, Texas at Max Goldsmith Stadium. So we'll go ahead and take a short break, and when we come back, we'll have kickoff in the third quarter. You're listening to Lewisville Fighting Farmers Football, presented by Lewisville Lettering on Champion Sports Radio.
Lewisville Lettering has served the Lewisville community with low prices, quality goods, and quick delivery for over 25 years. At Lewisville Lettering, they can take care of all your textile screen printing and embroidery needs. Uniforms, corporate wear, t-shirts, hats, jackets, sweats, school wear, they do it all. Locally owned and operated since 1991, Lewisville Lettering is trusted by local schools, including all the Fighting Farmers merchandise sold by the Booster Club, as well as churches and police and fire departments. Lewisville Lettering works with businesses both large and small, but the individual customer is just as important to them as the large corporation. Whether you need hundreds of printed shirts or a single embroidered name, they'll give you the same quality work and attention. From custom artwork to digitizing, all of their work is done in-house in Lewisville. So give them a call today at 972-221-7286 or come by and take a tour of their facility at 701B South Old Orchard Lane, right off West Main Street in Lewisville. Lewisville Lettering, your hometown print shop.
Are you craving authentic Italian food in a warm, friendly atmosphere? Then you need to stop by Viva La Pasta, where they strive to serve delicious homemade pastas, mouth-watering pizzas, and so much more, straight from their family's table right to yours. Farmer fans have made Viva La Pasta one of the most popular restaurants in town. Stop by and see for yourself. They're conveniently located right across the street from Lewisville High School at 1093 West Main Street. Visit VivaLaPastaMenu.com or check out Viva La Pasta on Facebook and Instagram for news and deals. For me, it's Viva La Pasta.
Each year across the United States, young lives are lost to sudden cardiac arrest, and our communities are left to pick up the pieces. That's what happened in April of 2009 when Zachary Schraw lost his life to an undiagnosed heart condition after collapsing suddenly during a Plano East Senior High School football practice. After his death, Zach's loved ones knew it was time to take action to protect young hearts across North Texas from this silent killer. Since its establishment in 2009, Living for Zachary has impacted thousands of families by providing heart screenings for ages 12 to 22, donating AEDs to youth-based organizations, and training community members in the use of CPR, all with the goal of saving lives. Sudden cardiac arrest doesn't wait, so we can't either. Schedule your child's heart screening today, apply for an AED for your organization, or make a donation that could change a life forever. Together, we can give our children's hearts a second chance. Join the movement to save young hearts at livingforzachary.org today.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Follow us on Twitter at Champion Sports, like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, or look for us on Instagram at Champion Sports Radio. Tell us why your team will win this week. Share when your favorite athlete is named Player of the Week, or brag about what your school alumni are up to now. That's on Twitter at Champion Sports, facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and on Instagram at Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship social media.
Welcome back in here, ladies and gentlemen, to Max Goldsmith Stadium in Lewisville, Texas, underneath the Friday night lights for the 37th annual Battle of the Axe, live on Champion Sports Radio. It's Grayson Ouellette, your play-by-play announcer, alongside Cody Barfnick here this evening. After 2 quarters of play, the Lewisville Fighting Farmers currently tied up with the Marcus Marauders by a score of 7-7. Cody, anything you're looking to see out of Lewisville here on this first drive as they set up for the kickoff?
Well, I think they're going to be a little bit more aggressive on offense, and they elect which end they're going to defend here in the third quarter, and they will go into the breeze yet again. They want the wind at their back in the fourth quarter. Hopefully they can come out here in quarter number 3 and make a statement and not necessarily need the win.
Michael Petro jogs forward, sends this ball away, and it's going to be caught by Byron Ellison about a yard deep in the end zone, and Ellison's going to take it out. Comes storming forward. Ball comes out on the kickoff. Marcus looks like they have it. And Byron Ellison is down on the field as well, and Marcus does have the football.
Yeah, Ellison took a big-time shot there. Not a whole lot of movement from him after that one. And the second fumble of the game for Byron Ellison, and that's going to go Marcus's way. That's worst possible case scenario to have happen at the start of the third, especially getting the ball.
Byron Ellison, unfortunately, still down on the field. He's getting checked out by trainers right now, so it is going to be Marcus football to begin the second half off a fumble. And we're going to go ahead and take a short break while they get him checked out. You're listening to Lewisville Fighting Farmers Football presented. Oh, hold on. Wait. Thought that they were going to give him a sack, Cody. Once again, these players just keep hopping up on me as soon as I'm going to throw it to break. Ellison's up, and he's making his way over to the sideline.
He's definitely going to get evaluated for a concussion because he got hit right in the head, laid on the ground for 2 or 3 minutes there. Not a whole lot of movement. It looked like that may be pretty bad, but it's good to see him jog off under his own power. But another costly fumble there for Lewisville, and that sets up Marcus with a first down at the Lewisville 21 to start the second half.
And that is a massive play for Marcus to begin the third quarter here. Already game tied up at 7. They tied it up near the end of the first half, and now they get a big fumble on the opening kickoff in the third quarter. First down and 10 at the Lewisville 21 for the Marauders. Welliver takes the snap, hands it off to Perlmutter right up the middle. Perlmutter is going to get dragged down for a gain of around 3 yards down at the Lewisville 19. Second down and 8 coming up here now. And Cole Welliver is coming out of the game, and coming in for him is number 16. That's Brock Golwis, the sophomore quarterback.
They had Golwis in the game for a play earlier for a design quarterback run. To see if that's where they go here.
Golwis takes the snap. It is a direct QB run off the right side. Golwis has a little bit of room around the edge. Gets it down inside the 15 and knocked out of bounds at about the 12. Nice run by the sophomore.
And a stop there by Caden Jenkins. First time we've called his name tonight. He's back on the field after having to sit out the first half due to unsportsmanlike penalties last week. Makes a tackle there, but Marcus gets a first down anyway inside the Lewisville 15. Not quite first and goal, but pretty close to it.
First and 10 at the 12. Golwis still in at quarterback, takes the direct snap again, and this time he is going to get absolutely blasted in the backfield, and it is Caden Jenkins once again all over that play. Smacks Golwis back at the 15-yard line for a loss of about 3 or 4. Second and long coming up here now for Marcus.
Golwis telegraphed that play just a little bit. Marcus was lined up heavy to the left. Golwis takes it to the right, and Caden Jenkins sees it all the way and blows it up in the backfield for a loss of 4.
3 receivers set on second down and long back at the Lewisville 15 now for the Marauders. Welliver, play action. Rolling left. He's got pressure coming his way. He's going to dump it off to Perlmutter in the flat on a screen pass, and Perlmutter is going to get chopped down by Jaden Hardy for another loss of 2. That's going to make it third down and about 16 here now coming up for the Marauders back at the Lewisville 17-yard line.
That's what makes this Lewisville defense so deadly, is just the pursuit to the football is second to none on that play. Perlmutter gets the ball in the flat and has 6 defenders on him before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. That forces a third and long. They're well within range for Michael Petro, but see if Marcus takes a shot to the end zone here.
Welliver comes out on the third down and 16 here at the Lewisville 17. 2 receivers on each side of the field. He's got Perlmutter standing beside him in the shotgun. Welliver drops back. Lewisville's bringing pressure. Welliver hit as he throws, soaring for the end zone. Flag flies near the end of the play. It's going to go over the head of his intended target, Ashton Cozart, and out of bounds, incomplete. But 2 flags fly right near where the receiver was in the vicinity. I'm afraid that this is going to be pass interference on the Fighting Farmers.
It's either going to be PI or it's going to be a hold against Caden Jenkins on Ashton Cozart at about the 5. This might give the Marauders a first down. They're making some personnel changes. I think Brock Golwis is going to come back into the game. This is going to give Marcus a first and goal situation inside the 5-yard line for Lewisville, and Welliver took a big shot at the end of that play from Carl Malvo.
It was a pass interference call on Caden Jenkins, so it sets up a first down and goal now for Marcus at the 3-yard line. Goalless in at quarterback. And we've got whistles blown, and it looks like Lewisville is going to call a timeout. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Fighting Farmers call their first timeout of the second half. Score still tied at 7-7 with 9:34 left to go here in the third quarter. We'll go ahead and take a quick break and be right back here with more third quarter action. You're listening to Lewisville Fighting Farmers Football, presented by Lewisville Lettering on Champion Sports Radio.
There's nothing quite like coming together over a fresh cooked meal. Face to face, burger to burger, solving the world's problems over fries. There's also nothing like solving the problems right in front of you, like baseball practice, swim team, and getting your family's meals just like they like it, all with a few taps on your phone. Yeah, good thing there's more than one way to solve the world's problems. Good thing there's Whataburger.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Coming out of a Lewisville timeout, Cole Welliver is back in at quarterback under center. He's going to go play action, soaring this one for the end zone, and it's going to be caught in the back right corner. That's going to be a touchdown for the Marcus Marauders. Aiden Grummer, the tight end, is the one who makes the catch.
Just your classic bootleg out to the right. Cole Welliver goes under center, and Aiden Grummer ran a nice route in the back corner of the end zone right in front of Garcia Johnson. A nice throw, too, by Cole Welliver, and 2 Lewisville turnovers leads to 2 Marcus touchdowns. It's 14-7. 13-7 now.
And this particular turnover happened on the opening kickoff of the third quarter, where Marcus was able to take control inside of the red zone right off the bat to begin the second half. PAT is up and good, and the Marauders now, with less than 100 yards of offense, are able to take a 14-7 lead over the Lewisville Fighting Farmers with 9:28 left to go here in the third quarter.
And it's just a tough situation for Lewisville. It's kind of a similar spot of what happened last year. It was a close game into the second half. Lewisville committed 2 late turnovers in that game, and that's what inflated the score a little bit for the Marauders. But down 14-7, they're going to have to make something happen on offense.
I want to give a big thank you to Steve Swanson at Whirly Ball for sponsoring this broadcast before we get to the ensuing kickoff. Corporate events, team building, and private parties are more fun when you're zipping around in a Whirly Bug, and they have the most affordable laser tag in town. 2 locations to serve you in Plano and Hearst, so visit them online at whirlyball.info for more information. Also want to give a big thank you to Living for Zachary. Since its establishment in 2009, Living for Zachary has impacted thousands of families by providing heart screenings for ages 12 to 22, donating AEDs to youth-based organizations, and training community members in the use of CPR, all with the goal of saving lives. Sudden cardiac arrest doesn't wait, so we can't either. Schedule your child's heart screening today, apply for an AED for your organization, or make a donation that could change a life forever. Together, we can give our children's hearts a second chance. Join the movement to save young hearts at livingforzachary.org today. Now Michael Petro has the ball down on the tee, set for the kickoff after the touchdown pass from Cole Welliver to Aiden Grummer from 3 yards out. And this is going to be a squib kick-ish, just a low kick by Petro. It takes a quick bounce at the 20-yard line and then goes soaring over the head of Caden Jenkins and out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Kind of a knuckleball off the foot of Petro there, and looked like Cam Jenkins was going to get a return on it, but the ball was kicked so hard that it bounced over his head and through the end zone. And Lewisville will take over at their own 25, and they're now in a spot where it's not desperation time yet, but you need to make something happen on offense on this possession.
Marcus has certainly gained a lot of momentum over the last couple of minutes of this game from the end of the first half into early second half to take a 14-7 lead. Ethan Terrell, 3 receiver set on 1st and 10. Takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff to his running back right up the middle. That's going to be number 16 that time getting the handoff. That's Philip Patterson. And Patterson is just going to get smacked at the line of scrimmage almost immediately as Marcus continues to load the box on that Lewisville run game. And now Patterson, unfortunately, down onto the field. And it looks like Xavier Lewis is going to have to come in at running back.
And Patterson's slow to get up on that play. He was just absolutely smacked by the linebacker, number 31, Bryant Livingston, at the line of scrimmage. Tried to get up, but collapsed down to the turf. He'll probably be evaluated as well, but he's walking off the field, now jogging off the field under his own power.
Might have just gotten the wind knocked out of him there. As I mentioned, Xavier Lewis now will come into the game at running back for Lewisville. They have a 2nd down and 10 situation after the no gainer on 1st at their own 25.
Xavier Lewis, as you said, checks into the game at running back. See if they can get him the ball in space.
2 receivers to the right, 1 man to the left, tied in on the right side of the line here on 2nd and long. It's a play action. Terrell slings this one over the middle, and it's caught at the 35-yard line. And fighting up to the 37 that time is number 9, Lamar Kirby, making his first catch of the evening. And that's a gain of 13 and a 1st down for the Fighting Farmers.
Nice route that time by Kirby. A nice throw, too, by Ethan Terrell. Kirby ran right in front of Cole McKnight on the far side of the field.
Same formation as the last play as Lewisville goes no huddle. 1st and 10 at their own 38. Handoff up the middle to Xavier Lewis. Lewis able to burst into the 2nd level of the defense before he gets tackled by 2 different defenders at the 45-yard line. Nice burst right up the middle that time by number 11, Lewis. Gain of 8, actually. They're going to call this a 2nd and 2 from their own 46.
Still haven't seen Byron Ellison on this possession, but he does have his helmet on the sideline, so you got to think he's good to go. Just maybe giving him a little bit of a breather after that hit on the kickoff return.
The Lewisville offense still looking over at the sideline here before they get set for the 2nd and 2. Terrell now walks up to the line, yells at him real quick. He's got 2 receivers lined up close to the line of scrimmage, to the left, 1 to the right. Terrell, handoff to Byron Ellison, and Ellison once again has a defender right in his grill as soon as he takes the ball, and that's going to be a loss for the Lewisville run game back at their own 43-yard line. And that's just Marcus stacking the box, it looks like there, Cody, to attack that Lewisville run game.
It was a blitz all the way up the middle by Colton Bedgood and Mason Whitesell out of the secondary, and they were in the backfield before that play had any chance to develop. That's a loss of about 3 to bring up 3rd and 5. 7.5 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter.
3rd and 5, scores 14-7. Marcus over Lewisville. Lewisville on their first offensive drive of the 2nd half here, facing a 3rd and 5 situation at their own 43. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, tied down on the left side of the line as well. And Mike Odell doesn't like what he sees, and Lewisville is going to have to call their 2nd timeout of the quarter, Cody, at the 7:16 mark.
And just a breakdown in personnel, they tried to send Philip Patterson in late to sub in for Lucas Sanders, and Ellison wasn't up on the line either, and Coach Odell doesn't like to have to burn a 2nd timeout that early.
We'll keep it here on Champion Sports Radio with you as we give a shout-out to our title sponsor, Lewisville Lettering, during this timeout. Lewisville Lettering has served the Lewisville community with low prices, quality goods, and quick delivery for over 25 years. At Lewisville Lettering, they can take care of all your textile screen printing and embroidery needs. That's uniforms, corporate wear, t-shirts, hats, jackets, sweats, schoolwear. They do it all. Locally owned and operated since 1991, Lewisville Lettering is trusted by local schools, including all the Fighting Farmers merchandise sold by the Booster Club. Whether you need hundreds of printed shirts or a single embroidered name, they'll give you the same quality work and attention. From custom artwork to digitizing, all of their work is done in-house in Lewisville, so give them a call today at 972-221-7286 or come by and take a tour of their facility at 701B South Old Orchard Lane, right off of West Main Street. Lewisville Lettering, your hometown print shop. 3rd and 5 for the Fighting Farmers. Ethan Terrell goes play action. Play's broken down. He's got to take off with it himself. He's going to get up past the initial line of scrimmage, fighting his way at the 45, carrying the train with him up to the 47 before he's finally taken down. Nice fight on that 3rd and 5 run by Ethan Terrell on a scramble. It's going to be 4th and 1, and the Fighting Farmers keep the offense on the field for a second, but now they're going to send Jaden Hardy into the game. It looks like they're going to go for this thing on 4th and 1.
I would too. In this situation, you got about a half a yard to go for a 1st down. Quay Davis is hyping up that offensive line. You're playing from behind. 6.5 minutes left to go in the 3rd. I think you got to be aggressive right here.
4th and 1 from their own 47-yard line. Jaden Hardy in at the Wildcat spot for the Fighting Farmers at quarterback. Direct run off the left side. We've got flags flying, and that, I believe, is going to be a false start.
No, it's a delay of game against Lewisville.
Oh, man, delay a game on the Fighting Farmers, that is an absolute killer.
Killer penalty to take right there. Delay a game. Jaden Hardy had it around the left side, too. There was nobody out there on that left side for the Marauders. The coaches for the Marauders were jumping up and down because they had busted coverage on that far side, and just a delay a game that you can't take right there if you're Lewisville.
So 4th and 1 turns into a 4th and 6, and a possible Wildcat run has to turn into a Freddie Hoya punt. Hoya sends this one high, and it's going to be fair caught at the 26-yard line by number 18 for Marcus. That's Cole McKnight. And so the Marauders now with a 14-7 lead, 6:11 left to go here in the third quarter, are going to take back over on offense off of a unfortunate Lewisville penalty there on 4th down and 1.
It's just been a perfect storm so far for Lewisville. They turn the ball over right before halftime. It leads to a touchdown, and coming out of the half, they turn it over on the ensuing kickoff that gives the Marauders another touchdown, and they may have had a touchdown of their own right there get taken off the board by a delay game.
1st and 10 from their own 26 now for Cole Welliver and the Marcus offense. Handoff to Perlmutter right up the gut, and Perlmutter, nothing doing there. Gain of maybe 1. And I will say that Lewisville defense has not allowed almost anything in the run game tonight for Marcus. The Marauders, anything they've done offensively has been through the air a majority of the time so far in this one. 2nd down and 10 coming up after the no gain.
Perlmutter hasn't really had anything going. They try to go left to right on that play, but a nice job there by Malvo to clog up the run.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left on 2nd down and 10 here for Marcus. Welliver goes play action. Lewisville trying to bring some heat. Welliver looks right, fires. It's a low pass, and it's going to be caught on a dive that time by the Marcus receiver, number 1, Isaac Katab. Had to stretch all the way out for that one, but that's going to be a completed pass up at the 37-yard line. Gain of 11, and it's a 1st down for the Marauders. 5:20 and counting left to go here in the third quarter.
Nice throw there by Welliver. Katab was covered up by Jaden Hardy on the play. Hardy wanted an incomplete call. He thought the ball skipped off the turf, but side judge on the far side had it all the way complete.
Similar formation to the last play as Welliver hands it off right up the middle to Perlmutter, and this time Perlmutter able to find a hole as he gets into the second level of the defense and finally tackled at about the 46-yard line. Gain of 9 that time for the Marcus Jr. running back. 2nd down and 1 coming up now for the Marauders. Clock continues to run under 5 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
This is a spot here where Lewisville's not used to playing from behind. They haven't really had to so far yet this season, with the exception of a couple of different instances, and the defense is still playing well, but Marcus is not having much urgency. They're going to bleed this clock and go down here and get points.
5 seconds on the play clock here for the Marauders. 2nd down and 1 at their own 47. Welliver, clock at 1, takes the snap at 0, hands it off the right side to his running back once again, and this time it's going to be a loss of 2 back at their own 45-yard line. They gave it to number 2 that time, Jake Ballard, and Ballard had no room around the right outside edge. It's going to be a 3rd and 2 situation coming up here now for the Marauders. Clock ticks to under 4 minutes left to go in the quarter.
Nice job there by the 2 brothers on the far side, Caden and Cam Jenkins. They combined for that tackle for a loss of a yard, and now the Marauders are going to check Cole Welliver out of this game and bring in Brock Golas for what looks to be a kind of a power running formation for the quarterback.
Golas standing in at the Wildcat spot. He's got about 3 blockers in front of him. Takes the snap, and Lewisville is all over it. That's a fantastic play by the Fighting Farmers, and guess who it is? It's Caden Jenkins. Man, he didn't get to play at all in the first half, but he has been making play after play since he has come into the game here in the third quarter.
I got to give it to Caden Jenkins. He probably hated to have to sit out the first half on the Lewisville sideline, but he has made the most of his appearance so far in the second half. All over that play from the get-go in the backfield. Another loss of about half a yard, and that'll bring out the punting unit for the Marcus Marauders.
It was a no gain on the run by Golas, so it's 4th down and 2 for Marcus at their own 45-yard line. They've already faked a punt once that got them big yardage. And they're going to fake it again. Run right up the middle, and Lewisville's going to stop it this time. A stone wall of charcoal gray right at the 45-yard line. Marcus gets planted on the punt fake run. It worked the first time, doesn't work the second time, and this is going to be a big turnover for the Lewisville offense, who's now going to get to start the next drive inside of Marauders territory.
I'm a little bit surprised that Marcus went with that call right there. It looked like Lewisville saw it all the way. Carl Malvo and Mason Johnson made the stop. Looked like it was a loss of a couple of yards. Lewisville's got it at the 45 with a big opportunity here on offense.
2:44 left to go in the third quarter. Marcus still leads 14-7. Byron Ellison's back in the game. Handoff off the right side, and nothing there for him. Marcus has at least 4 defenders right on top of Ellison at the line of scrimmage immediately. They continue to stack the box on those early downs to stop the run game, Cody. 2nd down and 10 coming up for Lewisville now.
Just not much going for Ellison. They actually are going to give him a no gain at the 46-yard line. Xavier Lewis checks in at wide receiver, and Farmers haven't really taken that shot that we thought they would take so far in the second half. I wonder if they'll get aggressive here and do it on this possession.
Clock ticking down to under 2 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. 2nd down and 10 at the Marcus 46 for the Farmers. Terrell goes with a fake handoff to the right, and now it's a reverse back to the left to Xavier Lewis, trying to get the outside edge on the far sideline. Got away from one man at about the 35, goes out of bounds at the 40. That's going to be a solid gain of around 6 or 7 that time for number 11, Xavier Lewis. And it'll be a 3rd down and manageable coming up here now for the Fighting Farmers. 1:55 is where the clock stopped when Lewis went out of bounds.
Just trying to get their speedster in space. They sent him around the left side, and a nice run there by Lewis. He almost got free up the left sideline, but pushed out of bounds. For a pickup of 6 to bring up 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4 at the Marcus 40 here for Lewisville. Patterson in motion from right to left. Terrell hands it off up the gut to Ellison. Ellison able to fight his way down inside the 35 to the 34. That's a gain of 6 and a nice Lewisville 1st down off a tough run by Ellison right up the gut.
A nice physical run by Byron Ellison. Breaks a couple of tackles, picks up a 1st down for Lewisville, and this is the spot where Lewisville's got to go down here and get in the end zone. We're approaching the end of quarter number 3. Marcus still leads at 14-7.
Terrell looking over at his offensive coordinators on the sideline before he yells at his offensive line to play. 1st down and 10 at the Marcus 33-yard line now. Patterson in motion from right to left once again. It's going to be handoff up the middle to Ellison. Ellison maybe got a yard before he's driven back by the Marcus defense.
It was a combination of, looked like Chance Sauter and number 25, Brandon Benoist, the senior linebacker. They're going to call it a no gain on that play. As you said, Grayson, several times, Marauders stacking 6 and 7 in the box to try to stop the run, and you got to think Ethan Terrell's going to have to go to the air at some point if they're going to get a touchdown on this drive.
Clock ticks down to the final minute of the third quarter now. Terrell, 2 receivers right, 1 left, tight end on the right side of the line. It's a play action, and it's going to be intercepted as Terrell slings it over the middle. Coming back the other way and tackled at the 50-yard line that time is number 25, Brandon Benoist. And another critical turnover by Lewisville, and Marcus is going to take over at midfield with 43 seconds left to go here in the third quarter.
Just not a good throw there by Ethan Terrell. He was going to go out into the flat that time, and that was covered up by the Marauders. He tried to hit Dylan Myro over the middle and just never saw Benoist, the linebacker. Another costly turnover for the Farmers. That's 3 so far tonight.
1st down and 10 here now for Marcus right at the 50. As Welliver comes jogging back out onto the field. We've got 43 seconds on the clock. Marcus now with the ball back and a 14-7 lead here near the end of the third quarter. 3 receivers set on 1st and 10. Welliver goes play action, slings this one out right. It's a low pass, and it's going to be tipped up into the air by Isaac Katab, and Caden Jenkins is just going to go running right past it. Could have been intercepted. Instead, it falls to the turf, incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up now for the Marauders.
Yeah, Jenkins was over there, and so was Jaden Hardy. That was a tip drill that was almost an interception going the other way. A lot of near turnovers in this game in addition to the 4 combined that we've already had. It's been kind of a strange game in that department so far.
2nd and 10 now for Marcus. Welliver is going to hand it off to Perlmutter off the right side. Perlmutter not able to get away from the initial contact, still able to muster up a gain of about 3 to make it a 3rd down and 7 now at the Lewisville 47-yard line here for the Marauders offense. 20 seconds left to go and counting in the 3rd quarter, and Marcus may just drive this thing down to the end of the 3rd.
Yeah,
and they are. They're going to walk over to the sideline. That is how the 3rd quarter will come to an end. Marcus is going to be facing a 3rd down and 7 at the Lewisville 47-yard line when we come back to start the 4th quarter. We will take a short break and be back with the beginning of the 4th here as you are listening to Lewisville Fighting Farmers football presented by Lewisville Lettering on Champion Sports Radio.
Lewisville Lettering has served the Lewisville community with low prices, quality goods, and quick delivery for over 25 years. At Lewisville Lettering, they can take care of all your textile screen printing and embroidery needs. Uniforms, corporate wear, t-shirts, hats, jackets, sweats, schoolwear, they do it all. Locally owned and operated since 1991, Lewisville Lettering is trusted by local schools, including all the Fighting Farmers merchandise sold by the Booster Club, as well as churches and police and fire departments. Lewisville Lettering works with businesses both large and small, but the individual customer is just as important to them as the large corporation. Whether you need hundreds of printed shirts or a single embroidered name, they'll give you the same quality work and attention. From custom artwork to digitizing, all of their work is done in-house in Lewisville. So give them a call today at 972-221-7286 or come by and take a tour of their facility at 701B South Old Orchard Lane, right off West Main Street in Lewisville. Lewisville Lettering, your hometown print shop.
Cole Welliver and the Marauders offense have a 3rd down and 7 situation to begin the 4th quarter here in the 37th annual Battle of the Axes. We're back on Champion Sports Radio now. Welliver takes the snap, looking downfield, slings it over the middle, and he finds a man in the teeth of the defense. Down inside the 40, inside the 35, and tackled at the 34 that time is number 13, Philip Pons, the senior wide receiver, and Marcus able to convert on a 3rd and long, now deeper inside of Lewisville territory at the 34-yard line with a 1st and 10 to begin the 4th quarter.
Yeah, huge throw there by Welliver on 3rd and 7. Pons ran a nice route over the middle. The ball looked like it was nearly tipped by Mark Cooper, but Pons made a nice catch for a 1st down.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Pearl Muter standing beside Welliver in the shotgun on 1st and 10. Handoff on the running back draw to Pearl Muter. Looked like he wanted to take it right up the middle, then decides to kind of bounce to the right, running behind his right tackle. Fights his way forward for what he can get. It'll be a gain of about 3 up to the Lewisville 31. 2nd and 7 coming up now for Marcus.
Marcus is not a lot of urgency getting the play from the sideline. They look like they want to take as much time as possible off of this clock. They're well within range for Michael Petro to try a field goal if this offensive possession breaks down. And Lewisville, the way their offense has been tonight, if they go down 2 scores, especially in the 4th quarter, that may go a long way in deciding this game.
Same formation as the last play on 2nd and 7 at the Lewisville 31. Welliver hands it off to Perlmuter off the left side. Perlmuter gets eaten up almost immediately by Caden Jenkins and Garcia Johnson at the line of scrimmage. That's a no gain. It's going to be a 3rd down and 7 situation here now for Marcus at the Lewisville 31.
Coach Atkinson for Marcus is all the way out at the numbers. He wanted a face mask on that play, and the tackle by Caden Jenkins, he's not going to get one. That's going to bring up another 3rd and 7 situation for Lewisville, and Michael Petro's got the leg to get it there from here, but kicking into a wind that's as tough as this is, you might think it's 2-down territory for Marcus.
Big 3rd down and 7 here for Marcus from the Lewisville 31 with 10 minutes left to go here in the ball game. Welliver, play action. Not a lot of pressure coming his way. Now he's going to roll left as Lewisville starts to come at him, and Welliver's going to get eaten up for a sack all the way back at the 37-yard line, and that actually might even knock Marcus out of field goal range at that. 3rd down and 7 becomes 4th down and 14 now for the Marauders.
Yeah, they're going to have to punt this ball away. That's going to be, if they tried it from here, a 60-plus yard field goal by Michael Petro and into this wind. I don't think they're going to try that. What a play that time by Lewisville's defense. And Welliver, it's a sack you can't really take in that situation. You like to throw that ball away if you can, but it's a nice 3rd down stop by Lewisville.
Petro is standing at the 50. He's going to try to pin Lewisville back on this one. He's got a nice bounce on it. Bounces at the 3, and then it's going to go into the end zone. And hold on, we've got a flag flying here near the end of this one. 2 players, a Marauder and a Farmer, kind of went stumbling over each other, passed the football into the end zone.
Well, Tony Lewis and Kuba and Mason Chavis, the wide receiver, had a handful of jersey going both ways. I don't know who this foul's going to go against. Lewis and Kuba thinks it's going to go against the Marauders for Chavis dragging him down on that play, but this might go against Lewisville and back them up to their own 10 instead of the 20.
The ball took a bounce at about the 3 or 4 yard line, went right straight up into the air, bounced again at the 1, and then finally went into the end zone. But both players went flying past the football into the end zone and kind of falling over on top of each other off the first bounce. So it didn't even seem like either player was focused on the football on that play, and they are going to call it on Lewisville, and it's going to back them up half a distance to the goal. It's going to be 1st down and 10 for the Farmers at their own 2-yard line. This is the 4th drive tonight where Lewisville has had to start inside their own 15-yard line.
Yeah, it's a big spot here for Lewisville, but you got to think that the Marauders are going to come after this one. The way they've been able to stop the run so far in this game, they're going to try to get 2 points on the board here. This is Ethan Terrell's going to have to be careful.
Score is 14-7. Marcus over Lewisville here. Fighting Farmers just now getting the ball back with a 1st and 10 at their own 2. 9:08 left to go here in this one. Ethan Terrell with Byron Ellison standing beside him in the end zone. They're going to hand it off to Ellison on 1st down, who's able to get past the initial line of defense, broke a tackle at the 7-yard line, stumbles forward, and dives up to the 10 for a gain of 7, giving his offense a little bit of breathing room. 2nd down and short coming up for Lewisville.
Nice run by Ellison, and he was so close to breaking one on that play. He got tripped up just short of the 10-yard line, tried to keep his feet underneath him and couldn't, or else that may have gone for a lot longer.
8:40 and ticking left to go here in the 4th. 2nd down and 2 for Lewisville at their own 10. It's going to be a fake handoff as Ethan Terrell looks downfield, zips this one into the 2nd level, and it's going to be completed at the 25-yard line and tackled immediately that time is Dylan Myro.
Good route that time by Myro. Myro ran right in front of the safety, Drew Trenum, on that play, close to the Lewisville sideline. A perfect throw by Ethan Terrell to get Lewisville a 1st down, and this is the money drive here for Lewisville. You got to get some time off the clock, and you have to go down and score.
Trips receivers to the right, 1 man alone to the left on 1st and 10 at their own 25 now. Ellison standing to the right of Terrell in the shotgun. It's going to be handoff off the left side to Ellison. Ellison just goes straight into a Marcus defender at the 30. Maybe could have juked him out and says, nah, I'm going to take that contact one-on-one against Chance Sauter, the safety. Hammers his way forward for a gain of about 6 up to the 31-yard line. 2nd and 4 coming up now for the Farmers.
Boy, Lewisville got away with one there. Quay Davis had the jersey of Devin Strange on the edge right there. The official didn't see it, but Ellison will take that all day. It's a pickup of 6 on 1st down.
2nd and 4 at their own 31. Same formation as the last play. Trips receivers to the right, 1 man alone to the left. 7.5 minutes left to go in the game. Terrell goes play action, slings this one out right, completes it to Myro in the flat. Myro gets it up past the 1st down marker and is tackled now at the 40-yard line. That's a gain of about 6 and a fresh set of downs coming up now for the Fighting Farmers offense. Clock continues to run. 7:15 left to go here in the ball game.
The nice throw there again from Ellison, or from Terrell to Myro. That's a connection they've been trying to get going now for a couple of weeks, and they had it right there for a 1st down.
3 receiver set on this one. Play action for Terrell. He's got to roll left. Marcus pressure coming his way. He would have to throw across his body on this, and he's just going to zip it out of bounds here with Kentrell Sorrells in the area. Passing complete. 2nd down and 10 coming up from their own 39.
Lamar Kirby wanted the ball deep. He was in front of his man deep down the field. That was Drew Trenum matched up with him, and Terrell just couldn't quite get his feet set to launch one down the field, or that may have been a bang-bang play deep in Marauder territory.
2nd down and 10 now coming up from their own 39-yard line. Terrell gets the play in. 3 receiver set. Tight end on the left side of the line as well. He's got 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Actually, he's got 3 receiver set. 2nd and 10. Play action. Terrell zips this one out, completes it in the flat. Caught at the 41, fighting his way up past the 45, and tackled out of bounds at the 46 that time is number 82. That's Lucas Sanders, the senior tight end. First time we've called his name tonight. Gets a nice game for the Fighting Farmers. Up to about the 46-yard line is where they are going to call him down. That was a gain of 7. 2nd and 3 here now for Lewisville. 6.5 minutes left to play. 4 receivers set. Trips receivers to the right, 1 man to the left. It's going to be handoff up the gut to Ellison. Kind of a interesting handoff there. Seemed like Ellison actually almost lost the football, and Marcus is all over it there, shoving him backwards for a no gainer. It's now a 3rd down and 3 for Lewisville at their own 46.
I think you're going to see Coach Odell be aggressive here again and go for this on 4th and 3. Almost 6 minutes remaining in this game. You almost have to make something happen on this drive, so I'm not totally against going for it right here.
4th down and 3 for Lewisville at their own 46-yard line. Trailing 14-7 with less than 6 minutes left to play. Terrell, 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Play action. He's looking over to the left. Fires, and it's going to be caught at the 41-yard line, and going out of bounds at the 39 is Lamar Kirby, but hold on. Flags fly as soon as Terrell let go of the football. I believe that this is going to be holding on Lewisville, and that would be an absolute killer of a penalty right there.
Yeah, they're going to get Mike Fasusi for a hold. They might be pointing the Marauders' way. Lucas Sanders wants it. It's going to be illegal hands to the face against the Marauders. That's going to be a personal foul, 15 yards. Lewisville is going to decline the penalty and have a 1st down inside the Marcus 40. So a big break there for the Fighting Farmers. It looked like they were going to get Mike Fasusi for a hold.
Yeah, that was panic mode there for a second for the Lewisville offense. They're now asking this crowd to get themselves riled up here.
And they're into it. This is probably the most into it this crowd's been in this game.
5:40 left to go in the ball game. Lewisville
that's 15,
on the move right now.
That's 15 yards on the end of the play.
Yes, it is. And so now Lewisville is going to be moving down from another 15 yards. They're going all the way up to the 22-yard line following the illegal hands to the face call on the Marauders. That is a huge time gain for this Lewisville offense.
15 on to the end of the play, so Lewisville's got it at the Marcus 22-yard line now, 1st down.
They are waiting for the chains team to get reset. Lewisville's ready to get this play going, though. Down 14-7, 5:40 left to go in the ball game. Lewisville has not scored since the 1st quarter.
We didn't talk about this as much because of the flag that we thought was going to be against Lewisville, but what a throw on 4th down from Ethan Terrell to Lamar Kirby.
Yep, Kirby was ready for it on the back shoulder on the near sideline. 1st and 10 now at the 22. Handoff off the left side to Ellison. Ellison breaks a tackle at the 20, lowers the shoulder at the 10, dives forward down to the 7. And that's a gain of around 15 yards. And it's 1st down and goal coming up now for the Fighting Farmers at the 7-yard line. And now we've got a Marauder down on the field. That is number 7, Mason Whitesell, the senior defensive back.
There's going to be an injury timeout. They're going to take a look at Whitesell. Whitesell got clean run over by Vyron Ellison inside the 10-yard line. This is going to be 1st and goal for the Farmers and an opportunity that they cannot waste here.
Whitesell, as he gets checked out and walked off the field by trainers, want to give a big, quick shout-out to Dylan Olson and the team at Infinity Solar. Homeowners, have you ever considered owning your own power by going solar? Then contact Infinity Solar USA, a locally owned and operated company who has helped thousands of homeowners become their own power company by going solar. Call 469-868-4164. That's 469-868-4164 and get your exclusive discount. Infinity Solar USA. 1st down and goal for the Fighting Farmers inside the 10 at the 7. They just came off a big 15-yard run by Vyron Ellison. 2 receivers to the right. Tight end is Lucas Sanders on the left side of the line. Ellison not getting the handoff. It's a direct run to Terrell. Splits 2 defenders and walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Lewisville Fighting Farmers.
A design quarterback run right up the middle for Ethan Terrell. He breaks 2 tackles at the line of scrimmage and then goes untouched into the end zone. And the Farmers are an extra point away from tying this game up with 5:20 to go. We are right back where we started.
And this side of the stadium is going bananas right now here at Max Goldsmith. Like you said, Cody, this crowd is more into it than they have been all night after that touchdown. Freddie Hoya on the PAT. Good hold. It is up, and it is good. This game is tied at 14-all with 5:21 left to play. We'll take a short break, and we'll be back with the ensuing kickoff. You're listening to Lewisville Fighting Farmers football presented by Lewisville Lettering on Champion Sports Radio.
Homeowners in the DFW, listen up. Have you ever considered owning your own power by going solar? Well, my name is Dylan Olson with Infinity Solar USA. We are a locally owned and operated company to the DFW. We've helped thousands of homeowners become their own power company by going solar. We take pride in providing an amazing solar experience. Thanks to Champion Sports Radio, we've created an exclusive discount just for you. To get a free solar savings report, go ahead and give us a call at 469-868-4164. Infinity Solar USA.
Hey, everybody, this is Chris Daly from LoneStarGridiron.com, the authority on Texas high school football. Quick question, did you play Texas high school football? If you did, it doesn't matter what school, it doesn't matter what year, we want to honor you at Lone Star Gridiron. Go over to LoneStarGridiron.com/brotherhood and sign up. It's absolutely free, and we can honor you for the part you played in the greatest sport in the greatest state.
Following a 3-yard touchdown run by Lewisville starting quarterback Ethan Terrell, Freddie Hoya is now set for the ensuing kickoff as the Fighting Farmer sends this one into the end zone for a touchback, and so Marcus will have to begin their next drive at their own 25-yard line. 5:21 left to go here in the 37th annual Battle of the Axe from Max Goldsmith Stadium in Lewisville, Texas. Score is 14-all between the Marcus Marauders and your hometown Lewisville Fighting Farmers. Welcome back in here to Champion Sports Radio. Grayson Ouellette alongside Cody Barfnick here with you. Man, Cody, what an absolutely massive drive for Lewisville, both not to just get back into the game then tie it up, but also gain a lot of momentum back, I feel like, in this contest.
So I said it was the money drive going into it, and Lewisville goes 98 yards to tie this game. And this is that situation right here where you need to make something happen. You got the momentum.
First down and 10 at their own 25. Welliver is going to hand it off the left side to his receiver on a jet sweep. He finds the outside edge, gets it up past the 30, and goes out of bounds at about the 33. That was Chase Sauter that time, the senior running back / defensive back, getting a gain of 9. Actually, they're going to call it 10 on the dot, I believe, and maybe just give them the first down.
So they're setting the ball at the chains. Now they're going to move the chains. The clock never stopped on the play. Not that it would matter very much, but Lewisville's got to batten down the hatches right here because Michael Petro has got quite a leg if it comes down to a field goal.
4:45 and ticking away here left to go in the game. Handoff to Perlmutter on first down and 10, and Perlmutter has nowhere to go on that one. He's going to get swallowed up by multiple Lewisville defenders for a gain of just 1 up to the 35. 2nd and 9 coming up here now for the Marauders.
And now you get in a spot where if you get the ball back late, those 2 timeouts that Lewisville was forced to take early in the second half may come into play, but if your defense can get off the field here, you may not need those timeouts.
4:15 left to go here in the ball game. 2 receivers to each side of the field on 2nd and 9. Welliver in the shotgun, takes the snap. He's got pressure coming right in his face. It's Isaac Black, and Black's going to take Welliver down back at the 30-yard line. He ran past him at first as Welliver stood up in the pocket, but then Black turned right back around and swallowed him from behind at the 30 yards.
Man, what a play by Isaac Black, and making a play when he has to. Mason Johnson got home, and Isaac Black finished the job behind the chains. And this is the spot right here where Lewisville needs to get off the field, or they may have a chance to go down and win this football game.
It's a loss of 6 to make it now a 3rd and 15 situation for the Marauders, and this Lewisville side of the stadium is on their feet. They're getting loud. Less than 3.5 minutes left to play.
Got to keep your receiver in front of you on this play.
Trips receivers to the right, nobody to the left. Here for the Marauders offense. Low snap. Welliver has plenty of time. He's looking downfield. He's going to fire a bomb into double coverage, and that is going to be batted down. Incomplete. It's Jaden Hardy who's all over it that time, as well as number 5 for the Fighting Farmers defense, Tony Lewis Nkuba.
Man, Lewis Nkuba was all over that play. Brian Perez was back there as well. It looked like Perez had a play on the ball, but Isaac Kitab just had no room to work with, and that's the shot that Cole Welliver loves to take. It was a great throw into the wind, about 50 yards into the air, but a nice play by the Lewisville secondary, and the Farmers are going to get this ball with 3:12 to go.
Michael Petro standing back at his own 17-yard line to punt this one away to Jaden Hardy and Dylan Myro. It's a low punt because of the wind. And Marcus is going to pick it up at the Lewisville 36-yard line. They thought Jaden Hardy might have touched it there for a sec, so they got a little active. But 3:01 left to play in the ball game. It's a tied game at that, 14-all. And now Lewisville, who just went on a 98-yard drive to tie it up at 14-14, now gets the ball back following a Marcus fourth down punt.
You got to take care of the football on this possession. Freddie Hoya is ready on the sideline in case he's needed, but Marcus has their timeouts left, so they're not going to get into a situation here where the Farmers can bleed the clock out.
Trips receivers to the right, one man to the left on 1st and 10. Terrell's going to hand it off to Byron Ellison right up the middle. Ellison didn't have a lot of room to work with. He's going to get swallowed up immediately for a gain of 1 to the 37. 2nd down and 9 coming up for the Farmers.
And the Farmers' offensive philosophy here, I think, is we're either going to win this game or it's going to go to overtime. They're not going to want to give Marcus the ball with any time left on the clock in regulation now with 2.5 to go.
We've seen Freddie Hoya make a 49-yarder to win it 2 weeks ago against Plano West. If Lewisville can get him anywhere near that territory, they have the wind at their back. 2nd and 9 at their own 37. Play action. Terrell has time, steps up, fires downfield, and it's going to go soaring over the head of Lucas Sanders here on the near sideline. Incomplete. 3rd down and 9 coming up here now for the Fighting Farmers. They got to be careful. 2:18 left to go in the ball game. They could also potentially give Marcus the ball back with a little bit too much time to spare.
Yeah, and it's an interesting play call here for Lewisville. If they stay on the ground and don't get the first down, Marcus almost certainly will call a timeout, and they'll still have over 2 minutes left when they get this football. So.
Same formation as the first down play. Trips receivers to the right, one man to the left. Lewisville going downfield to Lamar Kirby. Kirby had the ball in his hands on the near sideline, not able to bring it in. There was a jump by the Marcus defense, and the officials are not throwing a flag. This entire stadium saw it.
How was there not a flag thrown?
There was at least 2 different Marcus defenders who jumped off sides on that play.
Well, that's the only reason Ethan Terrell went down the field, was he thought he had a free play. That's just a missed call. Marcus had 2 defenders on the left side of the defensive line that were in the neutral zone.
Man, that's a crazy missed call there by the officiating crew here at Max Goldsmith. It's a 4th and 9 now for Lewisville. They got to punt it away with Freddie Hoya, who's standing at his own 25. Whistles are now going to blow. We've got a flag flying near the end of the play. Freddie Hoya got absolutely leveled even after whistles were blown on that one. Flag is down on the far sideline.
There was movement before the play was over, but I didn't see who jumped.
And man, this Lewisville side of the stadium is upset, to say the least, right now.
Yeah, they want the call on the hit on Freddie Hoya, but the hit came after the play was over, so they're not going to get it.
And they're going to call a false start on Lewisville.
2:08 to go. Freddie Hoya getting up a little bit gingerly after he took that hit. He's going to have to put his entire leg into this one.
So a 4th and 9 turns into a 4th and 14 now at their own 32. Freddie Hoya standing at about his own 20-yard line. 2:08 left to go in the game, and Mike Odell is absolutely furious still with the officials.
He's upset because the hit, I think his argument is the hit on Freddie Hoya occurred before the whistle was blown.
And I think you could probably make an argument that it was still unnecessary roughness as well.
Yeah, because the defender for Marcus wrapped up on Freddie Hoya. I didn't see if it was before the whistle or after the whistle, but that's what Coach Odell wants. He's not going to get it.
Hoya's ready to punt now on the 4th and 15. Had plenty of room to send this one away. It's a high, deep punt. It's going to take a bounce at the 17-yard line, and Lucas Sanders will catch it at the 19. Solid punt by Freddie Hoya. Pins Marcus back deep enough with 1:59 left to go in the game to force the Marauders to make a significant drive to try and put themselves in a winning position here.
Yeah, I think Freddie Hoya might be hurt too, that left shoulder. He's kind of letting that arm hang down. A nice gritty play there by the foot, they call him, here at Lewisville. And gets just about as good of a punt as you could ask for, as good as a touchback, and the Marauders will start at their own 20. Lewisville's got to keep it in front of them here. If they get in range for Michael Petro, he can make it.
5 receiver set, 2 to the left, 3 to the right here for the Marcus offense on 1st and 10 at their own 20. Welliver alone in the gun. Takes the snap. Lewisville brings 4. Slings it over the middle. It's going to hit his receiver in the hand. That's Carrick Grennan. Grennan not able to bring it in, though, on the one-handed catch over the middle. That's incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Grennan had a touchdown reception last week against Plano West and tried to make a one-handed catch out in front of him on that play. Couldn't bring it in. That brings up a 2nd and 10 for the Marauders. Jaden Hardy trying to get this Lewisville crowd fired up.
Lewisville has 1 timeout left. Marcus has all 3. Game's tied at 14. 1:55 left on the clock. It is stopped at the moment after the incompletion on 1st down. 2nd and 10 at the 20. Welliver slings this one over the middle and trying to just dump it off into the flat that time for Ashton Cozart, and Cozart just not able to bring it in. It's a little bit too far out in front of him, and that's going to make it a 3rd down and 10, and there have been less than 10 seconds killed so far on this drive by Marcus in 2 plays.
Well, and this is a big 3rd down for Lewisville's defense, and that last play, a little bit confusing. It just looked like Ashton Cozart gave up on the route over the middle. He only got one hand on the ball. He had space in front of him, but just another drop for the Oregon commit.
Big 3rd down and 10 from their own 20-yard line for both sides. Marcus has a 4 receiver set, 2 to each side of the field. Perlmutter standing beside Welliver in the shotgun. Welliver takes the low snap. Lewisville's bringing the heat. Welliver's got to scramble out left. Flag flies. Welliver's taken off with it. Broke a tackle at the 20. Hammered at about the 27. Welliver did not get close to the 1st down marker. Flags did fly. It looks like it's going to be a holding call on Marcus. Going to be interesting to see what Lewisville decides to do here, because Welliver did get about 7 yards on the run. If they were to decline the penalty, it'd be about a 4th down and 3.
I think,
and it looks like
you got to take it. Yeah, I think you have to take the penalty in that spot, because it makes it a 3rd and 20. You're back at your own 10. You know that Marcus is going to go to the air here, and they want to try to make them punt out of their own end zone.
1:43 left to go in the ball game. It's tied at 14 following a holding call by Marcus. They're facing a 3rd down and 20 from their own 10-yard line.
And now Coach Odell, he's waving his arms as if he was going to decline the penalty, but now Marcus is going to call timeout. I think he's just trying to get his defense fired up.
Marcus does call a timeout at the 1:43 mark before they decided execute this 3rd down and 20. That's their first timeout of the 2nd half. We'll go ahead and take a short commercial break and be back with more 4th quarter action. You're listening to Lewisville Fighting Farmers football, presented by Lewisville Lettering on Champion Sports Radio.
Are you craving authentic Italian food in a warm, friendly atmosphere? Then you need to stop by Viva La Pasta, where they strive to serve delicious homemade pastas, mouth-watering pizzas, and so much more, straight from their family's table right to yours. Farmer fans have made Viva La Pasta one of the most popular restaurants in town. Stop by and see for yourself. They're conveniently located right across the street from Lewisville High School at 1093 West Main Street. Visit VivaLaPastaMenu.com or check out Viva La Pasta on Facebook and Instagram for news and deals. For me, it's Viva La Pasta.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Follow us on Twitter at Champion Sports, like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, or look for us on Instagram at Champion Sports Radio. Tell us why your team will win this week. Share when your favorite athlete is named Player of the Week, or brag about what your school alumni are up to now. That's on Twitter.
Had to cut that one off as we are back to play here now. 3rd and 20 for the Marcus Marauders from their own 10-yard line. Cole Welliver decides to hand it off to his running back here on 3rd down and long. Chance Sauter. Lewisville sniffs it out immediately. That's going to be actually a loss of 1 back to the 9. Make this a 4th down and 21 for Marcus as they decide to go ahead and punt this one back to the Fighting Farmers. Minute 38 left to go, and Lewisville decides to go ahead and use their final timeout as well at the 1:38 mark before Marcus has to punt this one back.
And what a job that time by Lewisville's defense. It looked like Marcus called that draw to try to catch the Farmers napping, but Mason Johnson and Carl Malvo got home.
We'll take this opportunity during the timeout to give another thank you to some of our sponsors. Huge thank you to Ryan Amerson and Energy Attic. Contact Energy Attic and transform your living spaces by transforming your attic. Energy Attic helps improve your home climate control, reducing those cold and hot pockets, making it more comfortable throughout your home, and saving you up to 40% on your energy bill. Schedule your free Energy Attic audit online at energyattic.com. Energy Attic, attic solutions to transform your life.
This is it right here, buddy. 19-6, you and I's record together calling these games. Let's go make it number 20. Let's get off the field and let's go get this one.
Jaden Hardy and Dylan Myro back to receive as it's a shanked punt. It's getting eaten up in the air by Lewisville. They don't want to go anywhere near it. This one went straight up into the sky. It's going to bounce at the 20-yard line, and Marcus has to pick it up at the 23. Lewisville, right off the bat, with a minute 25 left, is just outside the red zone. And guess who they've got at kicker? It's none other than the foot, Freddie Hoya.
Well, I think they're in a spot now where they think they can go down and get a touchdown. There's a minute 25 to go. Michael Petro makes his only mistake of the night, shanks it off the side of his foot. He's kicking into the wind. The ball goes straight up into the air, and Lewisville already within field goal range for Freddie Hoya at the 23-yard line. They are trying to go get this victory right now.
At this point, if you're Ethan Terrell in the Lewisville offense, the only thing you're thinking right now is do not let go of the football, protect the football. First down and 10 from the Marcus 23-yard line for Lewisville. Terrell goes ahead, hands it off right up the gut to Byron Ellison. Ellison just takes it straight into the teeth of the defense, fights his way down to the 19 for a gain of about 4. 2nd and 6 coming up. Clock's going to run. Lewisville has no timeouts. They're going to go no huddle. Same formation on 2nd and 6. Another handoff up the middle to Ellison. Ellison continuing to fight for positive yardage, gets a couple more out of this one down to about the 17. Make that a gain of around 2. It's a 3rd down and about 3 or 4 situation here now. Clock ticks to under 50 seconds.
Marcus has 2 timeouts, but they're not going to use them. They're going to put this one on Freddie Hoya is what's going to happen.
3rd down and 3 here for the Fighting Farmers at the 17.
Lewisville has to run one more play, but as you said, they don't have a timeout left.
Man to the right and left at the receiver position. It's going to be handoff off the right side to Ellison. Ellison's going to be a yard short of the 1st down.
And now Marcus is going to call a timeout. I'm not sure if I agree with that from Coach Atkinson, because Lewisville doesn't get the first down right there. Coach Atkinson calls a timeout. Lewisville would have had to rush their field goal unit on the field to try to kick a hasty field goal. They don't get it, but that's going to set up Freddie Hoya from about 34 yards away.
With the wind at his back at that, we're not sure how much that hit he took earlier could possibly impact him. But once again, it is number 19, Freddie Hoya, the senior kicker. He was in this position 2 weeks ago, except there were only 5 seconds on the clock in that road matchup against Plano West. There's 27 seconds on the clock here at Max Goldsmith Stadium with the game tied at 14. Hoya, though, with a possible game winner here for the Fighting Farmers.
Well, the foot's done it now for the Farmers when they needed to have it. Now he's going to try to come and give it to him here again.
Lewisville lines up for the field goal. 4th and 1. Jaden Hardy is the holder for Hoya. It's down. Hoya puts it up, and it is right down the middle for the foot. Freddie Hoya is good, and Lewisville takes the lead with 24 seconds left on the clock. Score is now 17-14, and this crowd is fired up.
Freddie Hoya does it again, puts it right down the middle from 35 yards out. It would have been good from any distance he wanted. Lewisville takes a 17-14 lead, 24 seconds to go. We've seen crazy things happen in this game. This Farmer defense is going to have to keep their wits about them here, as the Marauders, if they get a big play, a big kick return, can still get into range, because you know Cole Welliver is going to be throwing home run balls on this possession.
As talented as Freddie Hoya is, Marcus has a big-footed kicker on their side of the field as well, in the senior Michael Petro. So you're absolutely right, Cody. This has got to be still keep your head on your shoulders situation for the Lewisville special teams and defense. 24 seconds left on the clock. Marcus still has 2 timeouts. Freddie Hoya putting the ball down on the tee. Yeah, you're right, Cody. That kick would have been good from basically any distance.
Has the wind at his back, but Freddie Hoya has been clutch in clutch situations this year for Lewisville. He's got to boot this one out of the back of the end zone, though.
Hoya right back at it here on the kickoff for the Fighting Farmers. Checks right, checks left, jogs forward and sends this one away. And it looks like it's going to be returnable for Marcus about a yard deep in the end zone, and they will take it out. Here come the Marauders, breaking a tackle at the 12, and not able to break another one at the 16-yard line. That was number 18 on the return there for Marcus, Cole McKnight. Looked like he had a little bit of space there after he broke a tackle at the 15, but then was tripped down at the 18.
What an open field tackle by Brian Perez, too, for Lewisville. McKnight looked like he had the edge on Perez. That was want to from Brian Perez. Gets to the outside and makes the tackle at the 19-yard line. This is it. 18 seconds to go. Marcus is going to have a couple of chances to try to get into range for Michael Petro, and Lewisville is going to have to keep receivers in front of him here.
18 seconds left on the clock here in the ball game. Cole Welliver brings out a 5 wide receiver set. 3 to the right, 2 to the left on 1st and 10 from their own 19. Looking to go on a miraculous drive to either tie up or possibly make something even crazier happen, and flags are going to fly before this one even gets underway. And
it's going to be a delay
game on Marcus.
That's a big penalty to take. The Marauders still with 2 timeouts left on the board, but didn't want to have to burn one right there, but that's going to back them up inside their own 15-yard line with 16 seconds to play. I think they're going to have to put 2 back on.
1st and 15 at their own 14-yard line now. 16 seconds left on the clock. It is stopped.
Yeah, they're going to have to, the head officials signaling to the clock operator now. They got 18 seconds on the clock.
So they add an extra 2 seconds there for the Marauders offense. Still a 5 wide receiver formation. Lewisville's got at least 4 or 5 guys out there in the secondary right now. 1st and 15 as Welliver drops back. Lewisville's bringing some heat. Slings this one over the middle, and it was nearly intercepted as Welliver tried to go downfield, looking for number 81 that time, his tight end, Aiden Grummer. I believe that was Garcia Johnson who got a hand on it that time for the Fighting Farmers.
Yeah, Johnson got a hand on it, almost intercepted it to end the ball game, but they will gladly take the knockdown and bring up 2nd down and long from the Marcus 14.
2nd and 15 from their own 14. 4 receiver set, trips to the right, 1 to the left on 2nd and long. Welliver has time, little bit of pressure in his face. Fires this one out right, and this one's going to be short at the feet of his intended target, Philip Pons, that time, as he had another Lewisville defender in his grill. It looked like it was number 32 who was coming after him, Rendell Carter.
Carter fought off a double team on the left side of the offensive line right there and nearly got home on Cole Welliver. Welliver had to let loose an ill-advised throw over the middle, nowhere near his receiver. Now it's 3rd and long with 10 seconds to play. We're getting into desperation territory.
3rd and 15 for the Marauders. 10 seconds on the clock. Welliver slings it over the middle. It's going to be caught. The Marauders tried to go with the Boise State type play. They're now trying to make something impossible happen, just throwing the ball behind them. It's fumbled. Still going with the toss around. Still on their feet. Here come the Marauders at the 40, at the 50. Ball's down, and Lewisville picks it up at the 48. Game over. And the Lewisville Fighting Farmers are going to come out on top in the 37th annual Battle of the Axe by a final score of 17-14.
It is coming back to 1098 West Main Street. Lewisville defeats the Marcus Marauders 10-0 in the second half. This defense plays extremely well. The Marauders made it interesting on that last play, but Lewisville checks off that box, and the Axe is coming home to Lewisville High School.
And this home side of the stadium has towels flying, pom-poms in the air. Fists are pumping as Lewisville is finally, for the first time since 2018, able to take down Marcus in the Battle of the Axe. Mike Odell, since the first year of his coaching career here at Lewisville, is finally going to bring the axe back to the Fighting Farmers here at Lewisville High School.
What a night. What a night for the Farmers. They go into halftime 14-7 down, and they come out of halftime 14-7 down. They think that the momentum is shifted all the way toward the Marauders, and all Lewisville does is pitch a shutout in the second half, and you could argue that without those 2 turnovers, Marcus may not have any points tonight.
We will go ahead and take a commercial break as the Fighting Farmers continue to celebrate with the student section here at Max Goldsmith Stadium. When we come back on the air, we will break down this one for you and wrap up tonight's broadcast in the Whataburger postgame show. Final score here tonight, though, Lewisville comes out on top over the Marcus Marauders 17-14 in the 37th annual Battle of the Axe. You're listening to Lewisville Fighting Farmers football presented by Lewisville Lettering on Champion Sports Radio. We'll be back with the Whataburger postgame show.
Under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
Homeowners in the DFW, listen up. Have you ever considered owning your own power by going solar? Well, my name is Dylan Olson with Infinity Solar USA. We are a locally owned and operated company to the DFW. We've helped thousands of homeowners become their own power company by going solar. We take pride in providing an amazing solar experience. Thanks to Champion Sports Radio, we've created an exclusive discount just for you. To get a free solar savings report, go ahead and give us a call at 469-868-4164. Infinity Solar USA.
There's nothing quite like coming together over a fresh cooked meal. Face to face, burger to burger, solving the world's problems over fries. There's also nothing like solving the problems right in front of you, like baseball practice, swim team, and getting your family's meals just like they like it, all with a few taps on your phone. Yeah, good thing there's more than one way to solve the world's problems. Good thing there's Whataburger.
Living in North Texas provides all of us with an amazing quality of life, including an affordable cost of living, outstanding schools, unbelievable cultural opportunities, and the best sports around. But we also have to put up with severe storms. Hi folks, Champion Sports Radio President and Founder Thomas Lee here to tell you when a hail or windstorm comes through your neighborhood, do what we did and call Greenleaf Roofing. Greenleaf Roofing is a fully insured, locally owned and operated company built on the values of amazing craftsmanship, affordable options, and innovative solutions. And they are proud that those values still stand as a foundation for their business today. And did I mention Greenleaf Roofing has 24-hour emergency service available? It's nice to know Greenleaf Roofing will be there in a hurry if you need them. After the first experience, I became a customer for life and have used them on 3 different homes. But don't just take my word for it. Learn about the Greenleaf Roofing difference yourself by calling them at 972-379-9109 or go online to greenleaf-roofing.com to find out how you can get your free quote. Greenleaf Roofing, the #1 choice for all your roofing needs.
Do you feel your home is too humid and slightly musty? Do you have that room or side of the house you don't use because it's too hot or too cold? Do you have family members struggling with health issues or allergies? Then contact Energy Attic and transform your living spaces by transforming your attic. Energy Attic uses a 3-part energy reduction system to make your home or office as comfortable and energy efficient as possible, saving you money, reducing your carbon footprint, and improving indoor air quality. Who doesn't want to save money, breathe cleaner air, and sleep better? Energy Attic helps improve your home climate control, reduces those cold and hot pockets, makes it more comfortable throughout, and saves you up to 40% on your energy bill. It's fast and easy to schedule your free Energy Attic audit. Simply visit EnergyAttic.com and fill out the form. Virtual appointments are available as well. Now is the time to get your project started. So let Energy Attic show you how much you can love the comfort of your home. EnergyAttic.com. Attic solutions to transform your life.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to Champion Sports Radio. It's the Whataburger post-game show here. It's Grayson Ouellette alongside Cody Barfnick. We are up in the press box at Max Goldsmith Stadium in Lewisville, Texas. And finally, for the first time since 2018, the Lewisville Fighting Farmers come out on top over the Marcus Marauders in the 37th annual Battle of the Axe to make the series now 21-16. Marcus still leads it all time, but it was 21-15 before tonight as Lewisville comes out on top 17-14 as the final score with another game-winning field goal by the senior kicker, Freddie Hoya. Cody, first reactions.
Man, what a night. I mean, this is a day that we waited for 3 years, that we've hoped for, and you know, coming out of halftime, going down 14-7 quick in the third quarter, it just seemed like it was kind of a here it goes again type thing. And I can't say enough about the fight this team had in the fourth quarter. Going into the fourth down 14-7 at their own 2-yard line. They go 98 yards to go down and tie the game, and the defense gives up nothing basically all night long. I mean, Marcus couldn't do anything on offense. This is probably the best defense Lewisville's had in a decade, maybe more. And they just completely played out of their minds tonight. Just looking down on the field, everybody's so happy. I mean, this is a box that they've wanted to check off now for the last 3 years. They've done it, but the fight's not over yet. They got to win next week, and they probably are going to have to win in Week 10 as well to get that district championship.
And I think that this is one of those games where a lot of these players on this Lewisville roster have been here the last couple of years in these incredibly close and tough losses that they've suffered in the Battle of the Axe the last couple of seasons. And for them to come out tonight, go behind, something that they haven't even really had to deal with that often this year, but play from behind. Early in the second half, you seemingly have given up, majority of the momentum, fumbling on the opening kickoff. You go down 14-7 early in the third. And like you said, the money drive to start at your own 2-yard line, to have to drive 98 yards to come back into the game and tie it up. And for them to do it in the fashion of which that they did, Ethan Terrell capping off the drive with a 3-yard touchdown run. And then, of course, relying on none other than the foot himself, Freddie Hoya, to win you the game from 35 yards out off a game-winning field goal right down the middle. Never a doubt. It just it ended again tonight. Very similar to the game that was won off a field goal 2 weeks ago against Plano West. There was a lot of drama. There was a lot of, question marks as to when this team was finally going to kick it into gear, and they did it at the perfect moment. And, man, what a comeback for the Farmers in the second half.
Yeah, it's just a great job in the fourth quarter. And, even though the Marauders put 14 points on the board, 7 of those were a fumble return. For Lewisville, Byron Ellison fumbled. The second touchdown was a possession that started inside the Lewisville 10-yard line after a fumble. Besides that, I don't think I'm overstating. I mean, the defense played a perfect game tonight.
Yeah, the defense was lights out.
There's no other way to describe it. That secondary was completely locked down. I need to look at the stat sheet, but I'm not sure Ashton Cozart had a catch in this game. I think he may have had one early on in the first quarter, but if
I wouldn't be surprised if he went catchless tonight.
Combined between Ashton Cozart and Isaac Kitab, I think between the two of them, they may have had 2 catches. And if you can do that to that kind of receiver duo that's as elite gets, I mean, that shows the true muscle of this Lewisville secondary.
And on top of not having Caden Jenkins for the entire first half as well, which, by the way, as unfortunate as it was to, have to get a couple of unsportsmanlike conduct penalties last week and not get to play in the first 2 quarters of tonight, Caden Jenkins, from the second that he stepped onto the field there in the third quarter, immediately started making plays for the Lewisville defense as well. And I think that was kind of his way of apologizing. If you ask me, he didn't have to, beg, get on his knees in front of the coaching staff or whatever, because that's not what your coach wants. Your coach wants you to go out there and do what you do best. And I feel like that's exactly what Caden Jenkins did there in the second half. He made multiple plays in the backfield, sniffed out multiple plays that Marcus thought that they had tricked Lewisville on. Even that really close 3rd down and 2 situation where we thought that Marcus was maybe going to go on another drive to reclaim the lead. That was a big play made by Caden Jenkins to force that 4th down and short in particular at a very critical point in the game. I just want to give him props in particular. He didn't have to perform that way, and typically, you're kind of cold, right? Going into the second half when you didn't get to play in the first, everybody else is kind of warmed up. But yeah, the entire Lewisville defense was fantastic tonight, but that was great to see as well. Caden Jenkins coming out there in the second half and doing his thing at the cornerback position.
Yeah, he came out the second half and virtually took the game over on the defensive side of the ball. Shows why he's a Power 5 level player. But one thing that I do want to talk about compared to last year is, and I think you could see it looking at the game over the middle of the field, especially last year, Jaden Hardy didn't play in this game with a broken collarbone, and the Marauders went right at that spot all night long. Brian Perez and Garcia Johnson didn't have the greatest game back there last year. Tonight, man, talk about 2 players who we don't talk about a lot. Those 2 were on fire tonight as well, but I think you saw what this secondary can be. This is a perfect game for them tonight, and Jaden Hardy over the middle just was completely unstoppable.
And I got to say, too, that Lewisville decided to have that 4-man front tonight and 5 guys back in the secondary for a majority of the evening, and I really think that spelled extremely well for them at the end of the day. They did not blitz very often tonight, to be perfectly honest with you, Cody. They were bringing 4 a majority of the game, but that's really all they needed to make Cole Welliver uncomfortable. I think Lewisville maybe had 2 sacks the entire game, but I would say that there were multiple quarterback hurries and quarterback pressures that forced Cole Welliver to get rid of the ball a lot quicker than I think he wanted to throughout the game.
Yeah, if you look at the stat sheet, I'm trying to pull it up here, but not a lot of sacks on Welliver, like you said, 2. But the Farmers didn't have to blitz in this game because they were getting home with 4 consistently past that offensive line. And the MVP of that defensive front, you can't really isolate one because Isaac Black, Mason Johnson, Carl Malvo, Rendell Carter, those 4 guys made so many plays up front and forced Welliver out of the pocket and made him throw off balance. And I think that was the difference in the game, to be honest, just because anytime you can make an elite quarterback uncomfortable and make him throw passes that he's not comfortable throwing, he's a pocket passer. If you force him out of the pocket, you see tonight that he's not nearly as accurate down the field when he's uncomfortable.
I mean, I'm just looking at, the defensive roster for the Fighting Farmers, and I'm having trouble finding a player that didn't make a play at some point this evening. Tony Lewis and Cuba with that big pass deflection near the end of the game when Welliver was trying to go downfield. Caden Jenkins, we've already talked about. Brian Perez made that fantastic tackle on the last kickoff of the game for Marcus when it looked like they could have had a big return. Jaden Hardy locking down the middle of the field. Cam Jenkins with the big interception in the first half. I mean, it just goes on. Every single player on this Lewisville defense just did their job tonight, and when the ball came at them, they were ready to make a play. And I think that was something that I was very impressed by across the board tonight for the Fighting Farmers defense.
Yeah, the Marcus Marauders, now looking at the stat sheet in this game, 2 weeks in a row, Lewisville, 3 weeks in a row actually, gives up exactly 9 first downs to an offense. The Marauders had 136 total yards in this game. Just absolutely nothing doing on offense. Cole Welliver, an elite quarterback, a 4-star recruit, 9 of 25 for 60 yards with 1 touchdown, short touchdown, then an interception.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a perfect game.
Coming off of a 5-touchdown game going into this evening.
Yeah, 265 and 5 touchdowns last week. They hold him to 65 yards through the air, a touchdown, then an interception tonight. some praise to go around for the Farmers on offense as well. Ethan Terrell, 9 of 16 for 115. No touchdowns, but an interception thrown. But that last drive, the 98-yard drive, the play of the game, I think, going back to it, was that 4th down throw to Lamar Kirby.
I agree.
Because that's the game right there. If you don't get it, Marcus is in your territory with about 3 minutes left, and who knows what happens at that point. But, man, just a fourth quarter performance by Ethan Terrell. He made the big throws when he had to have them and gets the touchdown run to tie the game.
Yeah, I also got to give credit to Byron Ellison. Yes, he did suffer 2 fumbles tonight, but late in the fourth quarter, when Lewisville was going on that final drive to get into field goal range, or to tie the game up, that 98-yard drive, like you said, and the final drive as well that put them in close field goal range. He made a lot of really critical runs there late in the game when they really needed them, and didn't let those past mistakes kind of get to his head there in the later parts of the fourth quarter. So good resilience, I think, from Byron Ellison here this evening as well.
That's the word I was going to use, is resiliency. He finishes with 23 carries for 97 yards, no touchdowns, but most of that yardage on that final drive that they needed to have to get down and tie the game when they needed to. Going to the Marcus receiving core, we were talking about this a second ago. Ashton Kozart does not record a catch in the game, and Isaac Kitab 2 catches for 24 yards.
Just another huge props to the Lewisville secondary this evening. Jaden Hardy, Cam Jenkins, Brian Perez, Caden Jenkins, Tony Lewis and Cuba, and then that linebacking core as well with guys like Garcia Johnson and Mark Cooper, all those dudes in the secondary tonight running that 5-man secondary. They locked down these Marcus receivers tonight, no doubt.
Right. Nothing more needs to be said really about that. I mean, it's self-explanatory when you look at the stat sheet, but a perfect game tonight from start to finish for the Lewisville defense, and that offense made some plays when you had to have them. That 98-yard drive is just vintage Lewisville, and it shows why they're a great football team. And now they've allowed 14 points or less for 5 consecutive games.
Not sure if you were able to check out the scores around the rest of the district during halftime, so why don't we go ahead and let's give a quick update to everybody out there listening to our Whataburger postgame show of how the rest of the district shook out this evening. In the Plano West, Plano East matchup tonight, that game is already finished up as the Plano West Wolves were able to come out on top over the Plano East Panthers, 31-28, close matchup there. The Lewisville Marcus game is the only other game that is finished up so far, according to the Dave Campbell's app here with the scoreboards. Plano and Flower Mound, with about 7 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, are an extremely close matchup at the moment. Flower Mound leads Plano at this time 44-41, so very high scoring affair. 85 points between those two teams in that matchup with 7 minutes still left to go. That's pretty crazy there, Cody. In the meantime, the Coppell Cowboys taking on the Hebron Hawks. Coppell looked like a solid team throughout the season. They have handled Hebron fairly easily tonight. 43-19 is your score there with about 5.5 minutes left to go in that game.
And the reason that's significant for Lewisville is that will be Hebron's second district loss. Marcus now has 2 losses. Lewisville undefeated. Coppell with just the 1 loss to Lewisville. So if Lewisville takes care of business next week against Plano East, then they've won the district championship for the first time since 2001. They could still lose the final game to Hebron and technically finish in a tie with the Coppell Cowboys, but obviously this is a box right here in this game that you had to check off if you were going to win the district title. It's been 21 years, but it looks like the Farmers are finally in a position to make that happen.
As you mentioned, Cody, Lewisville will hit the road next week to take on Plano East and look to stay undefeated in district play as they still hold first place outright here at the moment in 6-6A. In the meantime, for the Marcus Marauders, they're going to be hitting the road as well next week. 2 road games in a row for the Marauders as they will be taking on Plano Senior next week. And I think that'll be a pretty interesting matchup as Plano Senior been a little inconsistent this year, but certainly were just fighting with Lewisville a couple of weeks ago for first place in District 6A. And I think that Marcus and Plano next week could be a very intriguing matchup to keep an eye on as well.
Yeah, I think it will be too. There's a lot of drama, I think, is going to happen the last 2 weeks of the season as far as playoff scenarios. I mean, the Plano, if they can take this one home tonight against Flower Mound, they're in a position to kind of upset this whole order that's made the playoffs in the last 3 or 4 years, especially in this same district alignment. But the Coppell Cowboys, they're an intriguing story this year. If they win tonight, they're going to have an identical record with Lewisville at 7-1, just an immediate turnaround for Coach Antonio Wiley and that crew. I mean, the fact that Lewisville was able to beat them is huge because the Farmers' destiny is still in front of them. If they win the last 2 weeks, they're the district champions, but they're headed to the playoffs now for the 5th consecutive year, and that's all alone for Coach Odell is the second longest streak in school history.
Those will all be worries and thoughts on the Lewisville team's mind come Monday, but for tonight, they're going to be celebrating as they are able to take home the 37th annual Battle of the Axe in the first time that they are able to bring the Axe back here to Lewisville High School since 2018 as they take down the Marauders tonight with a final score of 17-14, completing a second half comeback where they were down 14-7 going into the fourth quarter. Cody, final thoughts on this one as we continue to wrap up the Whataburger postgame show here.
Well, it's a great night for Lewisville. This one's pretty sweet. I'm not going to lie. I mean, you and I have wanted this one for a few years, and Lewisville fans have wanted this one for 3 years as well. It's anytime, not to sound too negative towards one side, but anytime you can beat Marcus, it's a great feeling, and this is going to be celebrated pretty much all weekend by this team and this coaching staff. But come Monday, it's going to be back to work because you can't fall asleep against Plano East next week.
Well, for my color commentator here, Cody Barfnick, as we wrap up the Whataburger postgame show, want to give a couple of thank yous out to everybody who tuned into tonight's broadcast, the entire staff and team with Champion Sports Radio, allowing Cody and I to come out to broadcast this game here tonight. And, of course, a big thank you to all of our sponsors: Lewisville Lettering, Infinity Solar, Energy Attic, Greenleaf Roofing, Whirlyball, Living for Zachary, Enzo's NY Pizzeria, Viva La Pasta, B. Johnson Taxman, Fresh Fit Lit, Vita 10 IV Therapy, Point Break, Outback Steakhouse, and Chick-fil-A. Huge thank you. Oh, as well as the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. Huge thank you to all of our amazing sponsors here. It wouldn't be possible without them on Champion Sports Radio. One more time, the final score as we wrap up tonight's broadcast and the Whataburger postgame show. In the 37th annual Battle of the Axe, the Lewisville Fighting Farmers are able to take down the Marcus Marauders here at home to advance to 7-1 overall and 5-0 in district by beating Marcus with a final score of 17-14. For my color commentator, once again, Cody Barfnick, I am Grayson Ouellette. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's broadcast, and we'll see you next time on Champion Sports Radio.